Chapter 1. Running. I keep running. I can't stop now, and I won't stop, because I can't let them win. The leaves swirl in the wind that is created when I run by. The soil beneath my toes covers my feet in a new layer. Howls. They're coming. I hear this footsteps trailing behind me, slowly closing in. Faster. I have to run even faster. Flickers of light shine through the trees as I approach the edge of the tree line. I can hear cheering from the excited pack members. My wolf cheers and urges me further. We're almost there. I come into the clearing, and the pack members just get louder when they see me. A smile breaks out on my face. I push myself faster the last few feet. The closer I get to the fire pit, the louder my friends get. My brother is the loudest out of all of them. I giggle and run the last few strides. I slam the stake into the rock pile right next to the fire. The pack erupts even more, excited that I won. And the winner of tonight's Capture the Flag is Alyssa Reagan. My brother announces happily and excitedly to the pack. All my pack members start to cheer. I jump up with my hands in the air as the rest of the competitors come into view. They all come pat me on the back, congratulating me. Everyone does so. Everyone but Mila Bush. Long-time bully and hater. Not to mention pack slut. She just glares at me. I didn't stare too long. You can literally get sick from looking too long. With a smirk, I turn away, heading towards my friends. You made it, Alyssa. You are amazing. Can you just please marry me now? Stanley asked, going down on one knee. Stanley. Long-time best friend and partner in crime. I don't know what I would do without him. No, we aren't mates, but anyone would be lucky to be his mate, even me. Stanley, I yell and playfully slap his arm. You're hilarious, I say with a giggle. Great job, sis, my brother Nick says. Thanks. I learned from the best. I tell him with a wink. Nick is my elder brother. He's currently 20, soon to be 21. He's also the alpha of my pack. He took over for my dad when he turned 18. After my parents gave the alpha position to Nick, they went to work and joined the royal pack. I was only 16 at the time and didn't want to leave, so my brother and his mate take care of me. That was great. I love you so much, kid, he says while hugging me. What do you say? Should we head home? He asks, and I nod. We all head towards our house, leaving all the other pack members by the fire pit. The walk home was short, and soon we are inside for the night. Serenity is my brother's mate. They met each other very young and mated soon after that. It's pretty normal for mates to have children at a young age. In some packs, it's encouraged. She was sitting on the couch when we came in. Nick walks over and presses her a kiss on the forehead. How was the little monster tonight? Oh, asks. He was pretty good tonight. But it took forever for him to fall asleep. That is so hard-headed. I think he gets that from you, Seren says with a giggle. Nick just growls playfully. How were games tonight? It was fun. Alyssa won again. Guess it's a surprise to no one. But I missed you, baby, he says in a loving tone. I smile to myself. To be honest, sometimes I'm a bit jealous about how cute they are. I have always wanted a mate so badly. I have always wanted someone to care for me, and I've always wanted to take care of them. I want what my brother and his mate have. My parents have always been a little distant, but it's worse now that they are part of the royal pack. I have a lot of time to myself, not that I don't mind. You guys, I'm getting pretty tired. I think I'm going to head to bed now. Have a good night, you two. I walk towards my room after saying good night. Before I leave the living room, I shout over my shoulder, don't do anything I wouldn't do. I hear their soft chuckles as I walk down the dark hallway. I flip on the light and continue walking. I stop by my nephew's room and watch him for a minute. He looks so much like Nick. He's only 3 years old. Like I said, they mated young. I close his door and walk to the stairs, walking up them to my bedroom. I quickly shower and change into PJs before jumping into bed. My muscles ache as I slowly fall asleep, only to wake up to the screams of my little nephew. Chapter 2. I jump out of bed as I heard a blood-curdling screaming. It's from the mouth of my nephew. I look around the room, but I find no signs of danger. But then I hear the scream again. I run downstairs fast and into his room. He isn't there. The room looks untouched. I quickly race to the living room. My nephew is laying on the floor, screaming with tears running down his cheeks. Serenity is in the kitchen, making breakfast and looking as stressed as ever. What is going on? I ask her. My heart is still beating heavily. She looks up from the pan on the stove. He's been carrying on like this ever since Nick left this morning. I look at her confusedly. He sighs. Nick got a call late last night from an ambassador to the king. They informed us that the prince is looking for his mate and he would be visiting our pack in the next few days. Nick went to do some preparing work. I nod, understanding what she said. It made a lot more sense now. I look back at my nephew, who has calmed down a little now. There's still tear in his eyes. He sits up and reaches his arms up for me. I smile and pick him up. Geez. Why didn't I think of that? Nick and you are practically the same person. I laugh. I hear this a lot. Though Nick and I don't look alike, we are very similar in terms of behavior and actions. Serenity's eyes glaze over for a moment. Mind link. Then she comes out of her trace and looks at me. Nick just told me that the prince should be here by tomorrow night. I nod. It is not my concern, really. I've only seen the prince once when I was very young. He's not that much older than me. What I remember most about him is his warm, inviting brown eyes. Well, I better get ready for my rounds today. I think I'm meeting Stanley today for a swim by the waterfall. I set down Nick Jr. His name is fitting, seeing he's just like his father. I had a feeling the day was going to be hot and muggy, so I decided on just light clothes for the day. I packed my backpack with water and my swim gear. I head over to the pack house to meet with Stanley. I find him laying on his bed in swim trunks. What's going on, Stanley? He shrugs, eyes glued on his phone. I sigh and look around his room. I've been here 1,000,000 times. Sleepovers, fighting, crying. The usual. I playfully kick his stomach. Come on, Stanley. I want to swim before it gets too hot and everyone shows up. He groans and gets up. We head towards the backyard and take one of the golf carts to the waterfall. Our pack is set up like a campground. Everything is within walking distance, but isn't of campers or tents, it's houses. I love my pack. It's so beautiful here. After swimming for about an hour, Stanley and I decide to head back and do chores for the day. Everyone has to pitch in one way or another. That's how our pack runs. Everyone helps. I was in the middle of running the board for patrol when we spot a couple of cars heading towards the south entrance. Who are they? We weren't expecting anyone until tomorrow, but sure enough, the cars had the royal pack markings on the side. Nick. It seems our guests have arrived early. Damn it. I knew this was going to happen. The cars stop in front of the gate. A guard jumps out of the first car. He looks to be a higher up. Higher status than most. Personal guard, maybe. State your name and business with my pack. Pack warrior, Max says with a hard stare. The guard looks at us and then chuckles. We are here on the count of the prince. He is looking for his mate. We demand you open these gates and let us proceed to our business here. Max's eyes flare as he gets a mind link, probably from Nick. He nods his head as if he's actually in front of Nick. Max lifts his hand and motions for one of our guards to open the gate. The royal guard smirks and gets back in his car. They drive into our land. There are 6 cars in total. I wonder which one the amazing scent is coming from. After we finish up patrol and switch with the next group, I head back to my house to take a shower and change. Apparently Nick is having a huge dinner for the prince tonight, but it's already started. No point in showing up late and making a fool of myself. I just put on some of my comfy clothes and feast on the leftovers we had in the fridge. About 20 minutes after dinner, I decide to go for a walk. You know, to get off the calories I just ate. The wind nips at my cheeks as I walk through the pack. The parts that are usually alive with laughter and light are a little dull because everyone is at the dinner. I made my way down to the river, the outdoor lights illumining the path for me. I stick my feet into the cold water and sit down, watching the moon. It's only a few minutes until I hear some rustling from the trees. I jump up and spin around. Who's there? I ask out loud. More rustling. WHO's there. I ask a bit louder this time. Suddenly, the sweet scent that I smelled earlier hits me straight in the face. It smells wonderful. I've never smelt anything like it. The only way to describe it is, it smells like hazelnut and Starbucks. A man steps out from behind the trees. Who are you? I ask immediately. He glances up at me. First thing I notice is his warm, welcoming brown eyes. I'm George, Prince George. Chapter 3. I bow down onto my knees and lower my head. Your Highness. Forgive me for my rudeness. I didn't realize that it was you in the trees, I explain to him. He chuckles, coming closer to me. He reaches down and takes my hand, pulling me up. I jump back at the tingles he gives me. You don't have to bow down to me, ever. Because you are my mate. We are equals now. My eyebrows scrunch together. What? Mate? Ugh. You're so dumb, Alyssa. That's what is causing the amazing smell. Why didn't I realize that sooner? Yes, you are my mate. Can't you feel the sparks when we touch? Can you smell my amazing smell? Because I can sure smell yours. When I smelt it on your alpha earlier, I almost went insane. No one to touch my mate except me. I swallow. Oh, yeah, that's my brother, Nick. He looks at me with surprise. That makes me feel a little better. He trails off, but keeps looking at me. Do you mind if I hold you? I shake my head. I don't mind at all, but it's getting a bit cold out here. Would you like to head back to my house with me? I ask him. He nods with a smile. Of course I would. He takes my hand, and we head back to my house. Pack members slowly, trickling back into their houses for the night. Many smile at us as we pass them. No one is home when we get there, which is a good thing. Would you like anything to drink? I ask him, going to the kitchen. You, he says in a low voice. What did you just say? I ask him, pretending I didn't hear his first response. I'm good. I don't need anything to drink. I nod and come back without anything. He's looking at my family pictures. So you're Nick's little sister, huh? I nod again, but realize he's facing somewhere else and can't see me. So I say, yes, I am. I don't have any siblings, he tells me, looking at another picture. It's painful, to be honest, until you both grow up. I tell him with a chuckle. I sit down on the couch and watch him. After a few moments of silence, I decide to speak up. So can you tell me what happens now? Well, finding you means my trip is over now. We will be heading back to the castle. He comes over to sit next to me. He grabs my hand, and I gasp, not yet used to the sparks. When do we leave? I ask, looking into his eyes. It's probably my favorite thing about him so far. Tomorrow morning, he answers. I let out a breath that I didn't notice that I was holding in. Okay, do I get to say goodbye to my family? Of course, he says with a nod. I stand up suddenly. Well, I better get packing then, join me? I ask, holding out my hand. He smiles and takes it. I pack for the rest of the night, talking and bonding with my mate as I do. We don't go to bed until early morning. When we wake in the morning, we head down and have breakfast. My last meal with my family for a while. I'm sad, but very excited for the future. Baby, are you ready? George asks, coming up the stairs to my room. My heart burst a little from the new name. Yeah, I think so. I nod my head. We can always buy new things, or have them send you things that you forgot, he says with a smile. I smile and nod at him. Yeah, okay. I grab his hand, and we both head downstairs with my bags. George helps load the car as I say goodbye to my family. My goodbye with Stanley is the longest. He's my best friend. He's like the only friend I've had my entire life. I have no idea what I would do without him. I wave goodbye to my pack as the car drives me off to my new home. I turn around and face forward with a frown. George squeezes my hand and looks at me. Don't worry, we can come visit whenever you want. I smile slightly. Thank you. It means a lot. Of course, anything for my mate, he says and looks out the window. A few moments pass before he speaks up again. It's going to be a few hours before we get there, so you might want to sleep a little. Get some shut-eye to make up for last night. Okay, I say and then lean against him. He wraps an arm around me and kisses the top of my head. Chapter 4. A few hours later, we finally arrive at the castle. I slept most of the journey. I'm not sure about George. He was awake whenever I was. Welcome to your new home, George whispers in my ear. I look out the window, expecting to see a huge castle, but instead, I see a house. I turn back to him in confusion. We actually don't live in the castle. My grandfather started the tradition. He thought that it was unsafe for the royal family to stay in the castle, because then everyone would know where we live. Yeah, there's a lot of security, but living here just gives us more privacy from the public. I live here with my parents, he explains. It makes sense and I understand why they do it. You don't want the public to be snooping on your life 24/7. The car rolls up to the front door of the house. George takes my hand and helps me out of the car. I look at the house in more detail now. It's beautiful. The house is built with stone and wood, which is the perfect combination. It's got a lot of windows and it's in the perfect location. Do you like it? He asks me with a smile. I nod quickly, a smile showing up on my face. Maybe we'll have something similar when we get our own place. I start to blush at his sentence. He shows me inside and it's just as amazing on the inside as it is on the outside. Everything is just so stunning. I love it. He shows me the whole house, saving his bedroom for last. So, this is our room. He pushes the door open and it reveals a huge bedroom. It's not what I expected. I thought he would have a dark, boyish room, but it's almost the complete opposite. He watches me as I take in my new bedroom. What do you think? You can do whatever with it if you want. I look over at him. He's laying on the bed, relaxing. I shake my head no. I like it the way it is. I join him on the bed a few moments later, after taking on final spin around the room. The bed is so big, I literally could roll over 7 times in this bed and not go over the edge. I wouldn't doubt that you could fit a small village in this bed. The blankets and sheets are just as soft as they look. I could lay here all day, forget life. I'll just be in bed all day. My eyes slowly close as I start to relax. I feel a finger poke my cheek. I groan. What? I was just wondering something. I want to know more about you. So, I was wondering how old you are. I'm 18, I say while rolling onto my side and facing him. What about you? I'm 24. My parents won't let me take over till I have a Luna, but now I have you. But don't freak out or anything. We can take this slow. We don't have to rush into anything. I think about what he said and then nod my head once I've thought it all over. Mon, are you hungry? Or asks. I suppose I could eat. Are you kidding me? I can eat anytime. I love food. He stands up and holds out his hand for me to take. I do, and he pulls me off the amazing bed. Goodbye, bed. I'm going to miss you until tonight. We walk to the kitchen while holding each other's hand. What can I make for you today? The personal chef asks us when we sit down. Some pasta would be amazing, Thomas. George tells him. Bacca! We both wait patiently for Thomas to make our food. It's not too long into the wait when George pulls out his phone. I don't mind. It gives me a chance to study him for once. Light brown hair, beauty marks on his face. Warm chocolate eyes that I've come to adore. A little bit of scruff from not shaving. He looks at me and I quickly look away. He squeezes my hand. You're so damn beautiful. I don't think I'll ever get used to it, he says and kisses my cheek. I blush. You sure do know how to make a girl blush, I say to him playfully. He shrugs with a smirk. Shortly after, Thomas is done with our food and we feast on the amazing flavour. When we finish our meal, we decide to head out to the porch and watch the sun go down. So tell me, sweetheart, what's your middle name? He turns to me. It's Rose, I tell him. Alyssa Rose. You're my little Rose. He comments with a small smile. Mine's Jefferson. George Jefferson Brooke. Well, that's something I could get used to, I say with a giggle. And I'm not little. You're little to me, he points out. George isn't just your average build. Being the prince has some perks physically. He has big muscles, and he's pretty tall. He's dubby perfect. Yeah, I know. You don't have to point it out. You're too adorable, he comments softly. I cover my blushing cheeks with my hands and stare at him. I feel the bond growing stronger by the minute. It excites me. Favourite colour? He thinks about this before replying. Red, and you? I think I'm going to have to go with purple. No, wait. I change my answer. Yes, I like red. But what if I have discovered is that my favourite colour is the colour of your eyes? Grey. Your eyes are probably one of my favourite things about you so far. Thank you. I like your eyes too. They are so inviting. I can stare at them for days. He laughs. And damn, that makes my pants shake. Who knew that a laugh could be so sexy? You learn new things every day, kids. So when you're not off helping your dad run a kingdom, what do? Hang out with friends, and I often like to read. I smile at his words. Not many men admit to reading. I love to read. I read a lot too. It's one of the most enjoyable ways to spend my time. Then I can't wait to show you the Royal Library. You'll be in heaven. My personal collection has some good ones too. No. Oh, your personal collection? I didn't realize we were so serious already, I tell him with a laugh. Well, of course. You are my mate. What's mine is yours, including my body. He winks at me. We continue talking and learning about each other for a little while longer. Soon, we both grow tired and head to our rooms. All right, you're going to be staying in my room. I'll be in the room right across the hall. I'm not going to rush you into anything, he tells me. I remember back to last night in my old bedroom. He insisted on sleeping on my fold-out couch, instead in my bed with me. He kisses my cheek. Well, good night. Sweet dreams, my little rose. He turns to walk away from me, but I grab his hand. Stay, I blurt out. He turns around and looks at me. What? Asks. I said stay. I want you to stay. At least until I fall asleep, I say quickly. And he does. I fall asleep in his arms. The last thing I hear before I fall asleep is, "You're going to be the death of me, little Rose." Chapter 5. I wake up the next morning and the sun is at full brightness. I have to squint. I blink a few times, trying to adjust to the new light. I stretch and hit something rock hard. My eyes go wide. Looking over, I find a sleeping George. He's sleeping so hard, he probably didn't notice what I just did. I start to giggle. I can't believe I did that. I watch his face as his eyes open. "Good morning, my love," he says with a husky and not to mention sexy voice. I shiver at the sound of his voice. "Hey, sorry. I didn't mean to wake you up," I explain. "It's okay. I missed your pretty little face anyways," he tells me. Why does he have to be so darn cute? "So what do you want to do today?" I frown. "I don't know," I tell him honestly. "Think about it. We can do anything you want." "The day is yours," he says, and leans in closer to me. "You know, you are the most beautiful girl in the world." I scoff. "No, I'm not," I tell him with a blush growing on my cheeks. "Yes, you are. Don't even try to deny it." "Prove it then," I challenge him. I honestly have no idea where this is going. I just didn't want to lose. He leans in close again, as if he's going to kiss me. The next thing I know, his soft lips are touching mine. His kiss is sweet and gentle, but because more passionate as we deepen it, I can get us to this. We are in the middle of a full-out make-out session when someone knocks on the door. "What?" George growls. A man comes in, looking scared by George's intense state. "Your father requests your presence, Your Highness," the man explained quickly. "Tell him I'm busy. It's really important." I said, "Tell him I'm buzzy," George yells. The man runs out of the room. George fumes as I glare at him. When his eyes meet mine, they soften. "Baby," he begins, but I don't stay to listen. I get up and go to the bathroom, locking the door behind me. I hear him sigh. "Alyssa, baby, please come out with me." "I'm busy," I tell him. I finish up in the bathroom a few minutes later and head out. George is still sitting on the bed. He has his hands over his eyes. He looks up at me, his eyes and cheeks red from where he was rubbing them. "I'm sorry, Alyssa. I didn't mean to scare you," he trolls off. I give a look. "You didn't scare me. You scared that guard. That isn't right. You are a prince, are you not?" I ask him, sassy in my voice. He nods his head. "Then act like one," I tell him with a huff. I got to my things and get changed for the day. When I come back into the bedroom, George is gone. I groan and sit on the bed. How am I supposed to get to the kitchen now? I'm going to get lost if I go by myself. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have acted that way. I apologize to the guard. I hear George say. I look up and he stands in the doorway. I nod my head. "Thank you," I say with a sigh. He comes to sit by me. After a few moments of silence, he speaks up. "You smell amazing, by the way," I giggle. "Thank you. I'll be right back at you." He stands up and clasps his hands. So what shall we do today, my little Rose? I put a hand on my chin, thinking. Well, first, I need to get something to eat, then maybe a walk. The view looks so amazing outside. He nods, and we head down to breakfast. All right, it's a little colder up here than your old pack. I think it would be wise for you to change into something warmer. I don't want my baby to be cold. George, we're werewolves. We hardly ever get cold. Yeah, and I don't want this to be one of the rare moments you do. Go change, he says sternly. Fine, but no, I'm not happy about this, I tell him, and he just smirks, and I walk up the stairs. Shall we? He asks when I reach the bottom of the stairs. We shall, I say, and wrap my arm around his. He leads me outside. The cool air hits me as soon as we step outside. The leaves are changing. The weather is getting cooler. It's my favourite season, autumn. We walk down the middle of the street because they live in the middle of nowhere. The only word I can use to describe the scene is beautiful. Geez, this is awesome, I comment. Sure it is. It's even better with you, George says and gives me a kiss. Once again, I melt against his lips. He pulls back. Do you like that? He asks with a smirk. Stop it, I tell him, and he laughs. It's not funny. Besides, you're my mate. Of course I'm going to like your touches and kisses. Good. After the walk, we went back and had hot chocolate. We sat by the fire and talked. I just love listening to his voice. It's like honey. Towards the end of the day, I start to get sleepy. So George, take me to bed. Where are you going? I ask him when he doesn't follow me into bed. My dad is really pissed at me and wants to talk. So I'm going to visit him, and before you know it, I'll be back in bed next to you, he explains. I nod. Fine, but please don't talk too long. I tell him. He smiles at me and then leaves, securing the door him. I lay in bed, listening to the soft crackle of the fire. It's peaceful. I could get used to this. I hear footsteps going down the hall. Not many people use this hallway. Not many maids have jobs over in this section either. I smile and watch the door, waiting for my mate to come in. But when the door opens, it isn't him like I thought. So it's true, he says, looking right at me. I frown. Hello, father. Chapter 6. So the rumours are true, my father comments, taking a few steps into my room. What rumours? What the hell are you doing here? I demand. I think the better question is, what are you doing here? My father asks. I pull the covers up, trying to hide myself. I'm here to take you away. You need to leave. Why? I question, my eyebrows scrunching together. Did George order this? Does he not want me anymore? He swears under his breath. Do you not realise where you are? This is the crowned prince's bedroom. He points out. 1. Yes, and your point is? If the prince gets caught with common wolf like yourself, especially with a girl that is not his mate, he could be stripped from his title. My mind starts drifting to a different kind of stripping at the mention of the word. I'm not just a normal common wolf, must I remind you? I'm an alpha for Pete's sake. I'm very aware of our position. I'm doing this for the greater good. If you caught, you could be punished. I hear more footsteps. Gasped. Heavy. Brain, and there, George. What the hell is going on? Why are you in my chambers? George asked my father. I've come to get my daughter, sire. Father explains to my mate. Any why is that? Sire, if someone sees you with a girl who is not your mate, you could be stripped of your title. My daughter isn't worth all the trouble. Ouch. Ouch. A growl whips out of George's throat. Do not disrespect a woman like that, especially your own daughter. Your concern with my title doesn't matter. I will be keeping my title no matter what. I don't know if I can say the same about you. Sire, you aren't thinking correctly. She is not your mate. There is no good outcome of this situation. Listen here, you fucking idiot. Anyone with eyes can tell she's my mate. I don't fucking care if you are here, father, or not. You don't even deserve to be called that. Now, get out of my sight. I do not wish to ever see you again. George is practically shaking with anger. Please, just let me talk to my daughter. My father pleads. Only if the princess wishes, George says, and realization hits me. I'm the princess. I am going to be queen. George is queen. I like the sound of that. I feel both pairs of eyes on me, waiting for my response. I start, but can't find the right words to finish. The princess isn't feeling well. Please leave so I can take care of her. Aw, he's so cute. My dad starts storming toward George. You will not touch my daughter. I will kill you. What a change of heart in the past few minutes. I was practically worthless to him a few minutes ago. George just holds out his hand. Threatening the prince? Do you know what will happen to you now? George growls and my father stops. Father looks over at me. Please see yourself out, father. I basically spit out his name as if it were venom. But, he begins, but I cut him off. Father, please, you are only embarrassing yourself more. Leave, I tell him, and he goes silent. He turns around and walks towards the door. Finally, you're a lucky old man, George comments as my father leaves. I fall back on the bed. I run a hand through my hair and resting them on my face. George, I'm so sorry. He comes over to me. He leans on the side of the bed, studying my body. I look at him. Our eyes meet. Don't worry, sweetheart. It's okay. It's going to be fine. How do you know? I question. He leans in and kisses my lips. Because we have each other. No matter what we will face or what happens, we will have each other, always, he says, and I can't help but smile. Oh, this is what I've always dreamed about. This is why I've wanted a mate since young. I've spent, 3 days with him, and he's already stolen my heart, and I don't want him to give it back. We stare at each other for a few seconds. Your butt looks fantastic today, by the way, he tells me. I giggle and lay back on the bed. Lay with me? I ask him. He nods his head. After getting ready for bed and changing into a pair of pants and no shirt, he returns. Man, I can get used to this view. My body heats up with every stride he takes towards me, out of the bathroom. By the look on your face, I'm going to guess you like all of this. He runs a hand down his abs. Man, I would kill to be that hand. Are you always this cocky? I ask him. He crawls into bed. He mocks hurt. Is this what you think of me? I nod my head. I'm hurt, sweetheart, he says with a smile. He turns off the lights and snuggles closer to me. I sigh in content. You make me feel good. I tell him as his hand finds its way to my stomach and rubs it. I can say the same. I roll, facing him. I place a quick kiss on his lips, preparing myself for the next question. So what did your dad want? I ask. Nothing, he says shortly. George, please. Tell me. We're mates, remember? It's going to be a long and hard life if you keep things from me. I'm a big girl. I can handle things too. I know. I just don't want to think you're a big girl, so I can take care of you, my little Rose. No matter what, you are always going to take care of me. I will do the same, even if you are the big bad werewolf prince. You're still mine. I mean what I say. Yeah, I am. He whispers and kisses me. We are deep in a makeout session, with George's hand up my shirt when there is a knock on the door. I collapse on the bed. Are you kidding me? George laughs and tells the person to come in. So, it's true. You got to be screwing me, I say. George laughs again and then says, not yet, while wiggling his eyebrows. I start to blush as he talks to the person at the door. What are you talking about? He asks the young man in our doorway. My best friend found his mate. The guy says excitingly. I eye him up. He's got sandy blonde hair, blue eyes, and really bright white teeth. He doesn't look anything like George, so I'm going to guess they aren't related. Yep, that is true. George purrs, getting up from the bed and walking towards him. Dude, that's great. I'm so proud of you. The guy says and gives George a man hug. I just watch. The guy looks at me next. Hi, I'm Ted. I'm George's best friend and future beater. He says with a small wave. Hey, I'm Alyssa, I say, and give a little wave back. It's nice to meet you. He smiles. Same to you. Well, I just wanted to come say hi and to tell you that your dad wants to see both you for breakfast in the morning. Ted says, thanks, man. George says. We says goodbye to Ted, and he leaves. I have to meet the king in the morning. Don't worry, you are going to be fine. No, I'm not. Hey, you met the prince, and that turned out okay? Yeah, I suppose. I say with a smirk. Let's go to bed. I'm so tired. Okay, he says. and we sink down in the bed and drift off into darkness. Chapter 7. The next morning, I wake up and George isn't here. His side of the bed is cold, so I'm going to assume that he's been gone for a while. I wonder where he went. I sigh and lay back onto the bed. I look over at the clock and see that it's roughly 10 a.m. My mind wanders a little bit. When am I going to meet the king? I hope he likes me. I get up and start making myself look presentable. I'm in the middle of getting ready when someone comes storming into the bedroom. It's George, and he's fuming. "Baby, what's going on?" I ask him as he starts grabbing clothes and throwing them in a bag in a blind rage. "We're going away for a while." "Why? I just got here the other day. It hasn't even been that long. I haven't even met your parent yet." "Forget them. They don't deserve to meet you," he tells me, then goes to his underwear drawer and starts collecting more clothes. "Why do you say that?" I ask him. "Do not question me right now, Alyssa. Grab your fucking shit and let's go." My wolf growls. Who does he think he is? He can't treat his own mate like that. He's the prince. "You can put your stuff in here." He holds up a different bag. "I'll explain in the car." His face softens a little. He comes over and kisses my forehead lightly before turning towards the bathroom. "Just please hurry," he says, and then takes his bag to the bathroom. I do as I am told and we leave in a rush. A few minutes later. "Where are we going?" I ask him, once we've gotten down the road a little. He shrugs. "I haven't thought that far yet. Your guess is as good as mine." "You have no idea where we're going?" I question him with wide eyes. He shook his head. "No, I just had to get out of there." I reach for his hand and squeeze it. "George, what was so wrong that we had to get out as soon as possible?" I ask him. His eyes are on the road, but I can tell he's battling with his wolf. He sighs. "I went to talk to my father this morning before you woke up." He starts. I nod my head encouragingly, and he was angry. "He didn't want you to be my mate. He told me I had to reject you immediately and marry someone more fit for the throne." He mocks his father. He grasps my hand tighter. I run my thumb over his knuckles. He starts to relax. "I have an idea," I calls. "Where are we?" George asks me as we drive the windy roads of the mountains. "Up in the mountains, where my cabin is," I explained. His mouth forms an O shape. I can see the frustration and anger still in his eyes. Hopefully, this little trip will distract him. I reach out my hand and he takes it. I smile at him and lead him toward the house. I get the spare key from secret spot. After unlocking the door, I lead him inside. It's a blast, the past. We haven't been up here in a while. I think the last time was when I was 15 and my friends and I had a little party. Ah, the good old days. "I'm gonna go check out the rooms real quick." "You good?" I ask him before walking away. He nods. I bring in the bags and put fresh sheets on my bed. I come back into the living room to find him staring at old pictures of me. "Hey, are you hungry? I was gonna see if I can find some food for us." He turns his head and looks at me. "Yeah, I can eat." I nod and turn towards the kitchen. After dinner, we snuggle on the couch and watch the firewood crackle and burn. I was falling for him, hard and fast. I've never felt this way about anyone. I didn't even know this was a feeling you could have. I find myself studying the side of his face. He's amazing. He glances at me and smiles. "Hey, what are you staring at?" "My amazing mate," I tell him and peck his lips. "Oh, and why is your hand feeling my abs?" he asks with a smirk. "Tregens. Hey, it's my wolf. She's begging for control," I say dramatically. He presses his lips into a firm line. "Maybe you should give her control then. You should help with that," I say suggestively. George leans over and kisses me. I react right away, and he pushes his tongue into my mouth. I growl at him, but mostly out of pleasure. I moan, and he moves us. He gets on top of me. My hands run down his stomach. His rock-hard abs against my fingers. His hands go to the hem of my shirt. He starts lifting it up. He moves his lips to my neck. He kisses my neck and nips at it. I moan louder this time. "You don't know what you do to me," he says huskily in my ear. "I could say the same to you," I say. He moves his hands up higher, almost to breasts. He kisses my jaw and then back to my neck. He stops and pulls back. He looks me in the eye, asking for permission. I shake my head yes. "Are you sure?" Yes, I want to be with you forever, I say. He kisses me, and then goes back to my neck. He kisses and sucks on the spot, and then he sinks his teeth into me. I cry out in pain, and he covers my lips with his .5. When the pain is gone, it is replaced with pleasure. He licks the mark, making it start to heal. He looks at me, and then gives me a kiss. You're mine now, he says, and I slip into darkness. Chapter 8. The next morning, I wake up in pure bliss. Last night was amazing. George finally marked me. It was such a special moment. It wasn't just a bite on the neck, but really, it actually was. It was two people coming together and bonding together. It truly is the best experience yet. I woke up and stretched my arms and legs out like normal, expecting to hit George, but I didn't. I didn't touch anything, actually. I sit up on my elbows some more and see that it's just me in the bed. No George, that butt cheek. Babe, I call out. Nothing, no response. I sit up fully in the bed and see a note on George's pillow. Good morning, beautiful. I'm sorry I wasn't there to see your pretty little face wake up, but my wolf was antsy. I went for a run. See you later, sweetie. I get out of bed and go to the bathroom. Checking my phone, I see that it's almost noon. My eyes widen. I never sleep this late. I wonder when George left. I was about to leave the bathroom when something on my neck captures my attention. It's my mark, or, well, George's. It's beautiful, 2 wolf heads wrapped up in each other. I run my fingers over it to make sure it's real. Perfect, I find myself saying. I finish getting ready for the day and then head out to the kitchen, deciding on pancakes for breakfast. I'm in the middle cutting fresh fruit when George comes in with no shirt on. Hey baby, how was your run? I ask him, cutting some pineapple. George is angry at something, and I intend to find out what. Fine, he snaps at me. I'm going to take a shower, he tells me, and then turns and starts to walk towards the bedroom. I drop the knife on the counter and walk after him. What's wrong, George? I ask him. Nothing, I'm fine. I grab his arm and force him to look at me. We both know that's not true. George, I am your mate. You marked me, remember? You can't keep things from me. I tell him. He sighs. I need to talk to you about something. He trails off. Okay. I'm all ears, I tell him. He removes my hand. Not now, darling. It's not the right time. Later, after dinner tonight. How about we have dinner, go for a swim, and then I'll talk to you about it, okay? Sound good? I nod my head and peck his lips. He kisses me softly again before going to the bathroom, and I'm off to finish the food. Time. Later that night, I find George cooking. It's so sexy when a man can cook. I inhale deeply and take in the sweet and savory smell of his meal. It smells amazing, baby, I comment, taking a seat at the counter and watch him do his thing. Not as amazing as you smell, he says with a smirk, and I feel my cheeks heat up. Cheesy, I know, but it gets me every time. I recover quickly from my blush. So, do I get a taste? No, but it's almost done. How about you open a bottle of wine? He suggests, and I give him a weird look. He does know I'm 18, right? Okay, I tell him and get up and find a bottle. I pour him a glass and hand it to him. He looks at me oddly. Aren't you going to have some? I mean, I don't want the Crown Prince to tell on me for underage drinking. I tell him with a smirk. Oh, I won't tell if you don't, he says with a smirk. George sets the table and puts the food out. He pulls a lighter out and lights 2 candlesticks. I sit down and watch him once again. Am I missing something? What? I can't treat my girl to a nice dinner? He asks while sitting down, after making sure I have everything I need. Never said that. I've just never had someone do this for me. Well, get used to it, he tells me with a smile. I can't help but smile back. After George's amazing dinner, we find ourselves cuddling on the couch with a fire crackling in the background. George wraps an arm around me and I snuggle into his side. How did I get so lucky? I ask him, and plant a kiss on his lips. We sit and listen to each other's heartbeats and watching the fire. After a little bit of us sitting in silence, George speaks up. How about a swim? Or asks. My cabin is located right next to a lake that just happens to lead to a private swimming area. I love swimming. I used to swim here all the time as a child. Sure, I say while nodding my head. We both get up and go get on our suits. George gets his on faster and heads out to the water before I get done. I grab us some towels and then head out after him. I look down at my suit. It's one of my favourites. It's black, of course. Gotta go with a classic colour. Walking up to the water, I see that George is already swimming. I smile at his head. Pops out to the water, a smile plastered to his face. His eyes turn lustful when he sees me. I raise my arms up in question and spin. What do you think? I ask him, grinning. Why don't you dress like all the time? He asks with a chuckle. So, I take it you like it? Very much, he practically groans. I take a step into the water and then jump the rest of the way in. Once I surface, I start swimming toward him. I get near him and wrap my legs around his torso. He encircles me with his arms. You are so beautiful, he whispers in my ear. I shiver from the comment. Thank you, I say with a blush. I rest my head on his shoulder. I like this, I tell him honestly. Me too. You and I, alone. It's peaceful and relaxing. I listen to his heartbeats. I wish it was this way all of the time. It can be. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. I think we should move in together, into a house of our own. Just you and me, he says. I look at him in the eye. I'm speechless. I wasn't expecting this at all. So what do you think? He asks me. He looks nervous. I think that's a great idea. I tell him honestly. He breaks into a smile. So, will you move in with me? Or asks. Babe, there's no way I will go another day not living with you. I say. And he kisses me. I pull back and he looks at me with worry in his eyes. I will move in with you if you do one thing for me, I inquire. Yeah, anything for my princess. I lean forward and whisper in his ear. He smirks at me and nods his head. Chapter 9. I smirk as I pull back and get a good look at his face. His eyes darken with lust. Are you sure? He asks me. I nod yes. Of course I'm sure, I say with a chuckle. I've waited too long for you to get cold feet. He glares at me. I'm not second-guessing myself. I just want to make sure you're okay with this. Of course I am. I trust you, and I know I'm safe. You will take care of me, right? He pressed a kiss to my lips, always. He kisses me again, this time more urgent. I moan softly as he deepens the kiss. I wrap my legs around his torso and kiss him hard, but he stops suddenly. I give him a teasing smirk. He moves my legs so that they are no longer around him. I give him another look, a scared one this time. He smiles at me. I have to tell you something before we go anything further. Oh, goddess. You got some random chick pregnant, didn't you? I say and cover my face. He laughs and pulls my hands away. No, and besides, the only one having my babies is you, baby. I give him a quick kiss. Go on. So, I have been feeling this way for a while, but I didn't know how you felt. I think that I should tell you before we take our relationship to the next level. Oh, he's so sweet. Alyssa, I love you. I love you with all of my here, and I will love you until the day I die. I look at him, unsure what to say. Do I love him? That the feeling I've been having. The warm glow in my chest that makes me feel safe and protected. George, I love you too. He smiles and pecks me on the lips. So can we just do this or not? Because there is a show that I want to see, and it's on tonight. I trail off with a smirk. Of course. I'm not going to waste another minute. Don't plan on sleeping tonight, sweetheart, because you aren't for the next month. I stare at him in shock, and he just smirks. He wraps my legs around his stomach again and pulls us out of the water. He walks us to the cabin. Once we get inside, he practically runs to the bedroom. He lays me down and stares at me. George, can I ask you something? Can it wait? I'm kind of in the middle of something, he says and plants kisses on my neck. No, I say, and he freezes. He pulls back and looks me in the eye with worry. What is it? Or asks. Have you done this before? With someone else? I ask him with concern. No, you're the only one. He replies, and I release the breath I was holding. I smile at him. Good. Now, if you don't mind, I am going to make you forget everything in this world but me, he says with a smirk. And I let him. Babe, I hear George's voice in the distance. I break from my amazing dream and come to. I roll over and slowly open my eyes, adjusting to the light. George is laying there in all his beauty. What? I ask with a soft groan. He pauses. Nothing. I sit up and glare at him. He gives me a confused look. You woke me up for nothing? I groan, throwing myself back down on my pillow. I didn't think you'd wake up. He defends with his hands out. I'm a light sleeper. What did you expect? He chuckles to himself. I raise an eyebrow. What's so funny? You, W.A., a light sleeper. Yeah, okay, says the one that slept through a huge ass thunderstorm. He says, recalling a story I told him. Anyone can sleep through a thunderstorm. I defend. You were sleeping in a shaky 10, Alyssa, he states. I scowl at him. You know what? I'm gonna try to sleep again. I close my eyes and adjust my head on the soft pillow. Babe, George says. I open one eye and look at my mate. What? It's already 1 p.m. Do you really need to sleep more? Or asks. I smirk with my eyes closed. There's always time for beauty rest. Later that day, I wake up and George is gone. Figures. I knew he'd get tired of watching me sleep, but the question is, where is he now? I get out of bed, stretching as I do, and walk out to the living room. He isn't there. I walk to the fridge, grabbing out a yogurt cup and grab a spoon before heading out to the porch. I find George out there, reading a book. Hey, Mr. Smarty Pants. What you readin'? He looks up and smiles. Good morning, Sleepy Pants. He puts his finger in the book, marking the page, and shows me the cover. Where the red fern grows, it reads. I stick my tongue out in distaste. I hated that book, I comment. He smiles and looks at me. So, you've read it? Of course I've read it. Who hasn't? It's only required for almost every child to read at least once in school, I say with a flick of a wrist. Oh, is it? Or asks. Yes, it is. I say to wrap up my argument. Well, unlike everyone else, I did not have to read it for school. I scoff slightly. Babe, you're the future king. I'm sure teachers will bend to your will. He chuckles. Mom and Dad value education a great deal. Every royal must have the very best education that they could receive. So what did you read in class then? I ask him out of curiosity. Oh, you know, werewolf history, royal bank statements. I laugh, and suddenly, where the red fern grows sounds so appealing. We laugh together, but grow silently shortly after. I, eating my yogurt, and George back to reading. We're going to have to go back sometime, I comment. I know. But right now, I just want to spend time with my beautiful mate. How does that sound? Perfect. But one day it will get old. People will miss us, I point out. It will never get old with you. And of course, people will miss us. They will especially miss my amazing face, he says. I roll my eyes and look at him. You are so full of yourself, I say with a chuckle. He laughs. Only for you, baby. He winks at me, making me laugh more. No, but I'm serious, George. We'll have to go back one day. I know, sweetheart. But for today, I'm spending time with my mate. Everyone else can wait. He smiles and I smile too. A few minutes later, George closes his book and stands up. He reaches his hand out to me, and I take his. How about a canoe ride on the lake with a short swim after, milady? I smile. Sounds perfect. And it was. Chapter 10. Hey babe, come look at this. I yell to George, who is in the living room. What? He yells back. This house, it's amazing. I yell back. I hear some noise and George appears by my side. He puts a hand on my shoulder and looks at the computer screen. You're looking at houses? For what? He asks, his eyebrows furrowed. Well, I start to trail off. I don't know. I just thought that once we go back we could move in together. You know? Like mates usually do. But if you don't want to, I totally get it. George cuts me off. No, I love the idea, he says. He looks at the pictures of the house. You're right, Alyssa. This house is beautiful. It's a lot of money, but, I start to say, money isn't a problem. I am the werewolf prince. I smile and lean into him. Yes, you are. My werewolf prince, I say, and place a kiss gently on his lips. But of course, one gentle kiss has soon lead to many, many more rougher, eager ones. But suddenly the phone rings. That's weird, I say. George and I decided to shut off our personal phone so we could have some peace and quiet. But this is the cabin phone. I walk over to the phone and look at the caller ID. It's a brother. Who is it? George asks, coming up behind me. My brother. Are you going to answer it? I don't think so. He'll call again if it's really important. I tell him, just wait for it, go to voicemail. George says, and I put the phone down. Okay, I mummer. The phone stops ringing. Now, where were we? George asks. I smile at him, and we begin to kiss again, but again, the phone cuts us off. I pick it up again. Nick, this can't be good. Do you want to answer it? Or should I? George says, reach for the phone in my hand. I put a hand on his, stopping him. He looks at me for my next move. I got this, thanks. I say, and George takes his hand back. I click the answer button and raise the phone up to my ear. Hello, Alyssa? Nick says. It sounds so weird to hear his voice. I haven't heard it since I left with George. Alyssa? Yeah, I'm here. What's going on? Is everything okay? I ask him. His voice sounds distressed. No. I wish. I have some bad news, Alyssa. I'm so sorry. I wish I could tell you in person, he tells him. I feel my heart beat hard in my chest. I swallow nervously. It's Mum and Dad. Mum and Dad? What now? Did they try to disown us? I say with a nervous laugh. I'm not very good at this kind of thing. There isn't a laugh on the other side. Oh, goddess. There was an accident. An accident? Yes, and Mum and Dad didn't make it. They died. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. Alyssa? Alyssa, are you okay? This time it isn't Nick, it's George. Baby, you're scaring me. What's going on, baby girl? I put the phone on speaker. My parents are dead. They died. What? Are you serious? George asks. This time, it's Nick to reply. George, I need your help, Nick says. George brings me over to the couch to sit. I'm too much in shock to even stand anymore. George goes back to the phone and takes it off of speaker, putting it up to his ear. Nick continues to talk to him. After a few minutes, they hang up. George comes back over to me and starts to rub my shoulders. He kisses my neck in a comforting way. We should pack our bags. George says after a few minutes. I nod my head. Okay, yeah. We head to the bedroom and start taking our stuff out of the closet. I begin to fold my clothes up to put them in my suitcase. I continue to do this for a few minutes. My head is all over the place. I pause and look up at George. George, I start. He looks over at me. He looks up from his project. Yes, baby? He sets down his shirt and walks over to me. He takes my hands in his. What's wrong? I feel a tear slip down my cheek. He wipes it away. I fall into his arms. I just don't know what to do. I pause. George is silent. I hated my parents for leaving me. I never ever spoke to them. And now they are gone. I trail off again. Shh, it's okay, baby. Let it out. George holds me tighter. Soon all of my tears come out. I don't cry much. I've been told it was a weakness. But here, right now, with my mate, it's all I can do. I slowly start to realize that tears aren't weakness. They are a symbol. A symbol of power and strength, and most of all, a symbol of compassion. 3 key features of a Luna. Chapter 11. Ladies and gentlemen, the plane will be landing shortly. A voice says throughout the plane. I watch out window. I see lights in the distance. I hear soft breathing noises coming from the person next to me. I look over and see a sleeping George next to me. Oh, he's so cute, my wolf says. My wolf says, yeah, he is. What did we ever do to deserve him? I honestly don't know. Sometimes, I think all of this is some sick joke or a dream. I'm waiting to wake up. I tell her, well, I don't think that is true. But if by some chance it is, let's live it up. I look back at George and watch him breath deeply in and out, in and out. Why do you have to be so perfect? I whisper, looking at him. I mentally picture George saying, because I am you, mate. I smile at the thought. George stirs and soon his eyes open. Hey, he says in a husky voice. I hold back the moan. Good morning, sunshine, I say with a smile. He stretches a little, and I see the bottom of his shirt lift up. I resist the urge to stick my hands down there and feel his warm sick against mine. Unfortunately, he pulls down his shirt. I frown slightly. Hey, what's wrong? He asks me. I snap out of my trance. Nothing. I put my hand over my mouth. I feel my rosy cheeks. He smirks at me. I quickly look back out the window. Where are we? George asks. Almost there. I think we're going to land in about 15 minutes. Thank God. I'm starving. You know there's food we could order, I point out. His nose wrinkles up in distaste. Airplane food? Even dogs wouldn't eat airplane food, and dogs eat everything. Hey, don't talk about Ted that way. I tease. He covers his mouth with his hand, muffling his laughter. Ted does eat a lot. His poor mother. She probably was constantly in the kitchen. I joke. Actually, Ted's mother died in a rouge attack when he was young. It's been just him and his dad ever since. I'm shocked. Oh, goodness. I'm so sorry, I say. He puts a hand on my thigh, sparks erupting as he does. It's okay. Ted is a very interesting kid, and he's a great baiter. Don't stress about it. He doesn't mind talking about. I nod my head. We are silent for the rest of our flight. After getting off of the plane, your brother is picking us up. George says as we grab our bags. I nod my head. I silently follow him to the parking lot. We make it outside and find my brother standing outside a black car. He smiles when he sees us, waving. I wave back with a smile on my face. Hey, he says. It's nice to see you again, Your Highness, my brother says to George. George chuckles. You don't have to call me that. Just call me George. My brother nods. Alyssa, it's nice to you, see? We have all missed you. I hug my brother. I wasn't gone for that long, but yet it was long enough. I've never been away from my brother. I missed you too. How was your trip? Nick asks as we load our bags in the trunk. It was. I glance over at George and remember all the fun times we had at the cabin. I start to blush. Nick clears his throat and my head snaps back to look at him. I chuckle. It was very relaxing. Nice to have a vacation for once. George nods in agreement. I don't get out of the palace much anymore. Well, never really had. We all load into the car and Nick starts towards the pack. How's the pack been? Really good. Stanley missed you like crazy. He moped around for days after you left. We could barely get him out of bed. That sounds like my Stanley. George growls quietly next to me. I reach over and grab his hand. He takes it and squeezes it immediately. I roll my eyes with a smile. Serenity and I have been really stressed out and busy with funeral arrangements. All the playful neck that was in his voice outside, now gone. Poor Junior has been with a lot of sitters the past few days. Well, after all of this is over, how about George and I watch Junior for the night? You and Serenity can have a much-needed date night. You'd do that? Nick asks, looking at us through the rearview mirror. I smile and nod. I knew you were my favourite sister. I laugh. Nick, I'm your only sister. Nick joins in laughing. Oh, I suppose you're right. It isn't long before I fall asleep. When I wake up, I'm home. Chapter 12. We pull up to my brother's house and my nephew comes running out. Auntie Alyssa. He screams. Hey Munchkin, I say and hug him. George comes around the car with our bags. Hey Junior, he says to my nephew. Hi Alpha, he says and bows. George crouches down to his level. You don't have to call me that. Call me Uncle George, he says, and Nick Jr. smiles. Okay. Okay, he chirps. Nick walks by with our bags. He gets to the porch just as Serenity comes out. He plants a kiss on her lips. I leave Junior and George talking to greet Serenity. I give her a hug. How have you been? I ask her when we pull apart. She smiles. I've been good. Real good. Nick Jr. has been a handful as usual, but it's okay. Just like his father. I point out and we bother chuckle. Nick comes back out with the bag gone already. What's so funny? Or asks. Both of us say nothing at the same time. He eyes both. White. Right. Anyways, your bags are in your room. Now if you excuse me, I need to save your mate. He walks past us heading to his son and my mate. I chuckle when I look over and see that Junior is making George play horses. Let's just say George is not the rider. Well, let's go inside. Serenity says. It's getting dark out and the mosquitoes are coming out. We go inside, and the scent of Serenity's amazing cooking hits my nose. Man, did I miss her cooking. I hope you're hungry. I made hamburger soup and homemade pita bread. I'm pretty sure there's drool running down my chin. It smells wonderful. Thank you. She gives me a bowl as the boys come in. Nick takes the rest of the bags up to my room, and George comes over to receive a bowl also. He shares the same reaction as me when he smells our wonderful meal. We sit down at the table and my family comes to join us. Thanks again for the food, Seren. It's so good. George nods in agreement. Yes, this is wonderful. We must get the recipe. I smile at him. I'm sure I can make that happen. Serenity says with a smile. So what's the plan? I ask, focusing my attention on my brother. Well, the funeral is on Saturday. We have more family arriving tomorrow sometime. Other than that, not much of a plan. You know how Mum was. She had everything planned and written out in her will. I chuckle. I don't have many good memories of my parents, but there are a few. Who all is coming? I ask him, mostly Mum's side. Now. I nod my head. Dad didn't have much of a family. I look at the clock and see that it's just past 7 p.m. I think I'll go visit with Stanley after we finish supper. I tell my family. About that, George begins. I look over at my mate in confusion, waiting for him to go on. I want to guard with you at all times. We aren't together. I understand that we're at your home pack, but you're no longer just the Alpha's sister. You're the royal princess. You must have protection at all times. I give him a look of frustration. Seriously? He gives a nod and reaches over to take my hands. I know it seems unfair, but I just want you to stay safe, baby. Okay? Please do this for me. I nod my head. Fine, I will, but I'm not going to be happy about it. He smiles and kisses my cheek. Thank you. Seconds, anyone? Serenity asks. Yes, please. George answers. We all jump back into conversation. Tay. After dinner, George and I head to Stanley's house. His house isn't that far from mine, but far enough. We pass several other houses on the way. I wave to the familiar faces, some smiling, others sympathetic. You know, I didn't want my first visit back to be like this. I tell George, I understand. I wish it was different too, but we just gotta roll with the punches. I stop him in the middle of the street and plant a kiss on his lips. He smiles as we pull back. What was that about? A thank you for being here with him. He smiles again and kisses my lips. Jean. We reach Stanley's house shortly and like usual, it's a zoo. Hard not to be with 7 siblings. Stanley's parents were very busy. The door is wide open with chaos going on inside. Spike, put that down. Stanley's mum, Marcy, says. Stuart, put your sister down. Like I said, chaos. Hi, Mrs. Dove. Woods, I say. She looks over at me with surprise. Alyssa, you're back. How are you? I'm so sorry for your loss, she says as she hugs me. I'm good, and thank you, I say with a smile. Her attention quickly changes to one of her kids. Stella, put the crayons down, she says. Stella looks at her mum and drops the crayon she was holding. Stella was in the middle of giving her hair a makeover when her mother caught her. Bathtub right now. How many kids are there? George asks in shock. I chuckle. 8 total. 5 boys and 3 girls. To make it worse, all S names. I tell George. He looks stressed. I look over at Marcy. Hey, Mrs. Woods, is Stanley home? She doesn't even look up from her messy daughter, just points upstairs. I nod and say thank you as we walk upstairs. We reach Stanley's room shortly. I knock on his closed door. I told you I didn't want to play, Jason, he says as he swings open his door. He looks at me in surprise and practically jumps into my arms. Alyssa, I was wondering when you were coming. I hug him back. George starts to pull me back after a few seconds. I put a hand on his chest to calm his wolf down. When did you get in? Stanley asks. About an hour ago. We had dinner with my family. Want to hang out for a little bit? I ask him. Yeah, sure. There's some games tonight. Want to go watch? Or asks. Capture the flag? I ask him. Of course, he says with a smile. He grabs a sweatshirt and then comes towards us again. How can I resist? I say with a smile. 2. We are standing around the bonfire, aka finish line. The games just began. You know the games haven't been the same since you left. Stanley comments. I'm wrapped up in George arms as I look over at my best friend. Oh really? What did Mila actually quit trying to beat my record? I ask with a chuckle. Oh honey, I wish. It's embarrassing watching her try. No one can get close. Good. I say with a smile. My record is 10 minutes. It took me 10 minutes to get everyone else's flags and get back to the bonfire. Your mate is quite good at this game, Stanley tells George. Oh really? My pack and I used to play games like this when I was a kid. It was fun. But of course everyone was afraid to beat me in case my dad decided to kick them out. He says with a smile laugh. I can feel the vibrations on my back. I look up and him and smile. It's nice to be back. I missed my pack. I love my pack and I love my mate. Chapter 13. We are here today because of two great losses to the werewolf world. Today is a day we remember them and cherish the time we had with them while they were still alive. At this time, I like to invite Edwin and Clara's only kids to come to the front and speak a few words. The man says. George squeezes my hand. I look over at him. He gives me a small smile. Nick looks at me and then looks to the front. I shake my head no. He sighs and gets up. As he goes, I hear muffled cries coming from all over. My mom and dad weren't really close with me and my sister, but they did love us and care about us very deeply. My brother begins. It's hard to hear. My parents weren't the best, never really were, but they gave me life, and an amazing brother. I can thank them for that. My brother finishes and takes his seat again. People start looking at me. I rest my head on George's shoulder. The man gets up again. Does anyone have anything else to say before we put them in the ground? Or asks. Everyone looks around at each other, trying not to miss an important moment. Slowly, I stand up and walk to the front. I go to the front and look at all of the teary faces. I'm going to be honest, I'm not very good at this. I begin. I look to George for reassurance, but when it comes to my parents, I don't like to talk about them. They weren't around much. They have very busy lives, and sometimes we kids even seemed like an inconvenience to them. I glance at Nick, but he's staring at the ground. I don't have many memories of them, but I have memories of my brother. My parents gave me him, and I'm thankful for that. Even though they weren't always around, they taught me a very important life lesson, that nothing is handed to you. You have to work hard and push yourself every day to achieve your dreams. We all know that's exactly what they did. I hope that it all pays off, and I hope they finally can rest. I finish, but I'm too emotional to stay. I walk into the woods, the sunlight sneaking through. I think about what has happened the last few months. I find a spot and sit down. I hear a branch snap. I smile at the thought of George coming out of nowhere. I turn with a smile on my face, expecting to find George, but instead greeted with the mean-looking face of a rouge. I open my mouth to scream, but nothing comes out. I feel tears start to roll down my cheek. Sweetheart, don't cry. Everything is going to be all right, he says, and get right in my face. Who are you? I croak. A friend of your dad's. I've never seen you before. He chuckles. Your real dad, silly. What the hell are you talking about? My dad is dead. He is the only dad I have, I say. But that's where you're wrong, sweetheart. He wasn't your real dad. He was just an imposture. What are you talking about, you crazy man? I try to run, but he catches me quickly. You will find out soon, my child, he says, and then looks behind me. Take her away, boys. I scream as I feel arms pulling me up. I squirm and try to get out of their hold. I see something come up to my mouth, and I fade into the darkness. One thing I do best. And babe, I hear George call through the house. In here, I yell back. A few seconds later, I see George appear with our son in his arms. There's Mommy. He coos to our son. I smile at them. What did you need? Nothing, just wanted to see my beautiful wife. Oh, I don't think she's here. I joke with a smile on my face. George chuckles. I reach out my arms for our son. George hands him over. I cover his face and kiss. Who's my little boy? You are my little munchkin. How come you don't talk that sweet to me? George pouts, now sitting on the stool. Because there's only one spot in my life for my baby, and I call him Munchkin. Okay, fine. I guess I'll go cry in my room, he says, and slowly gets off his chair and heads for our room. I start laughing, and he stops and smiles at me before coming back. He comes around the counter and takes back our son. So, did you talk to your parents? I ask. Yeah, Mom is coming over Sunday. What about your dad? I question him. I didn't call him. George, I warn. What? I don't want him in my house after what he did. George yells and makes the baby start crying. I glare at him. He doesn't look back at me. He deserves to know his own grandson. He deserves nothing. George spits. I give him a disappointed look. George, please make our son stop crying, I say, and George realizes that he is still crying. Shh, it's okay, buddy, he says and hugs him to his chest. I can't help but smile at them. George is such a great father, much better than his own. Is it time for someone's nap? I ask. My son shakes his head no. Oh, come on. I will read you a story. Da, he says, meaning Dad. George smiles with pride. He looks over at me. We did good. Yes, we did, I say. And George walk off to read to our son. I turn and go back to what I was doing, but I can't remember. I find myself staring off into woods. Ah, are we almost there? A male voice asks. I can't see anything. All I see is darkness. Dude, you know the way to our house. Figure it out yourself. Another voice says, Sorry, I'm just sick of hauling around the bimbo back there. Quiet. Quiet. She is our alpha's daughter. Don't disrespect her again. Besides, rumor has it, she is the future Queen Luna. Shenanigans. I call shenanigans. The guy says again, That's not true, and you know it. How would you know? Besides, it's just a rumor, I never said it was true. Whatever. I'm going back to sleep. The first guys say, and a few minutes later, I hear snoring. What is going on? 2 hours later, after listening to snoring for what seems like forever, it finally stops. Dude, wake up. We're here. One? Oh, finally. You get the girl. I'm going to let the alpha know we are here. Okay, the guy says as the car comes to a stop. I hear both of them get out of the car, and the doors slam. I feel tears rolling down my cheeks. A door opens again, and I feel arms clamp onto mine. I start to scream. Shut up. The man screams in my ear. I still can't see anything. I must have a blindfold on. A hand covers my mouth and muffles my cry. More tears stream down my cheeks. I bite down on his hand, and he pulls back. Ouch. You little. What's going on here? Alpha, forgive me. Forgive you for mistreated a girl, much less my own daughter. The alpha says. I hear anger building in the deep voice. I'm sorry. I'm ready to accept any kind of punishment. You. I don't want to see you face anymore. He says. And I feel the guy let go of me. He runs off. Or that's what I think he does. My child, what have they done you? A soothing voice says. I feel a touch on my arm, and I flinch away. There's no need to be scared, you are safe here. Ilp, I whisper. I try to get my hands free, but they are bound up with something. He walks to the back off and starts doing something. The next thing I know, I can see again. I see a huge house in front of me. It's dark out. We are surrounded by woods. What going on? I ask. My child, you are home. The man says and comes into sight. I have to step back in shock. He looks so much like me. Impossible. I'm sure that you have a lot of questions. You got that right, I say. I see you developed my sense of humor. What are you taking about? Come, let's get you settled in. We will talk in the morning. He says and leads me into the house. Chapter 14. I find myself waking up and missing George. I wonder what he's like right now. He's probably going insane trying to find me. I'm sure the whole freaking nation is on the lookout. I try mind-linking him, but there is something blocking it. I sigh in frustration. There's a knock on my door. I groan, wanting to be alone. But then the door opens. The guy from last night, that I now know as Tim, comes in. Oh, good you're awake. Not like I had a choice, I say quietly. What was that? He asks. Oh, nothing. I lie even though I know he heard me. Stupid werewolf hearing. Well, breakfast is ready. Thanks, but I don't think I want to eat. Understandable. I will come get you later then, he says, and I shake my head yes. He leaves, and I sigh, again. What's up with the sighing? All I wanted was for me and George to move in together, get married, and maybe have a few kids. Now, that can't happen. My parents died for one, and my clumsy ass got freaking kidnapped by a man that shockingly looks just like me. Don't even get me started about that. I decide to get up and take advantage of the great room I was staying in, not. I walk to the window and stare out it, planning my escape. There are people everywhere. Then there was the woods. I don't know where I am. How am I going to get out of here? There is another knock on my door. Can I come in? A voice asks outside the door. I don't care. I snap. There is a short pause, and then the door opens. A older woman walks through the door. She looks to be in her late 30s, her skin is tan, and she is amazing. Who are you? I ask. She gives me a smile. I'm Daisy, she says. Can I sit down? He asks. I don't care, I say. She sits on the edge of my bed. There is silence until I break it. What do you want? I ask. To talk to you. I hate having you in the dark. I sit down in the armchair. Then, please, Daisy, bring me into the light. 2. Wait. Let me get this straight. You're saying that when I was a baby, I was kidnapped. She hasn't even been talking for 10 minutes, and I'm already confused. Yes, you were. As I said, we had bad blood with your pack. They didn't like us too much, and to get revenge, they stole our daughter. And I'm that daughter? I asks, and she shakes her head. Yes. Why should I believe you? You don't have to, but we would like you to. She holds out her hand to me as an offering. I'm hesitant to take it, but something draws me in. When my hand touches Daisy, it feels warm. A calming sensation comes over me, and I get what I can only describe as a flashback. It's a younger version of Daisy and Tim. They are standing over something, staring. I get closer and realize they are looking at a newborn baby. Daisy looks loving at her husband. I didn't think I could ever love something so little as much as I do. Tim kisses her forehead and smiles. I love her too. At first I'm confused, but then it all makes sense. She's telling the truth. They are my parents. But what happened? The flashback ends, and I'm back in the room with Daisy. We are silent for a few moments. You look so much like your father, and your sisters. What? I have sisters? I ask in surprise. Yes, 2. One's a year younger than you, and the other just turned 7. I soak it all in. I have sisters. Why didn't you contact me earlier? I would have liked to know about this. I'm sorry, but we were just unsure how you would react, she says, looking at the floor. So you waited till my parents were dead. Did you kill them? Heavens, no, but I bless the soul that did. My mum says with a smirk, Daisy, as much as you don't like it and I don't like it, they did raise me. And you turned out to be the most amazing thing ever. I can't look at her anymore. Can you please give me some space? I need time, I say. Of course, honey. Take all the time you need. Well, not too long. Your siblings want to meet you, she says with a smile. I don't smile back. I just look away. She leaves and shuts the door behind her. After an hour of thinking, I decide to shower and get clean. I turn on the shower and hop in when it's warm enough. I wash my hair and try hard not to think about George. He is my life, my hope, my everything, and now that he was took away, I'm lost. I feel the water start to get cold. I reach over and shut it off. I wrap a fluffy plush towel around my body and go back into the bedroom. Then I realize I don't have any clothes. Great. I walk toward a door. I open it and find a room full of clothes. I find a cute top and a pair of skinny jeans that oddly enough fit me. I pull them on and braid my hair. Just as I am finishing up my hair, there is another knock. Good. What? I yell. My dad comes in. What do you want? I don't want to talk. Okay then. Well, whenever you are ready, I'm here for you, he says and leaves. I realize what I just did and break down and cry. What is wrong with me? Chapter 15. After my tea party, I decide to go find my dad. I walk around the house and never once do I find him. The house is huge. I walk past a living room and see that the TV is on. Future Queen Luna, gone missing. It was reported last night from the Crown Prince George that his mate has gone missing. The last time anyone has seen her was yesterday afternoon at her parents' funeral. WWN goes live from the castle. The news anchor says, "I feel tears roll silently down my cheeks. For Prince George last night is something he wishes never happened. I was told that after Alyssa Reagan, Prince George's mate, gave a final goodbye to her parents, she decided to walk in the woods alone." Which in some eyes was mistake number 1. Guards and werewolves were able to track her scent into the woods, but they lost the scent when they got to the road. A man appears on screen. We have reason to believe that Princess Alyssa was kidnapped by rogues. At this time, we would like to ask anyone with important information that relates to the kidnapping to come forward. The women comes back on the screen. As for now, the kingdom is keeping the rest of the info silent. Then the man appears again. For the privacy and royal monarch, all information is being kept quiet. But please, if you have any information at all, dial the number on the bottom of your screen. He finally leaves the screen and they are closing. I talked to Prince George earlier and he said he has no comments, but the only thing he would say is that he is going to get his mate back. Alex Paula, WWN. Back to you, Susan. The women says, and they go back to the normal news. It's a shame people are making a big deal about this. A voice says behind me. I whip around and see a man standing there. Who are you? I'm Ford. What do you mean about the news? Well, everyone is making a big deal about now, but in a few months everyone is going to forget. No one is going to forget that the princess got kidnapped. I say before I can stop myself. I just called myself a princess. This can't be happening. Next thing you know, I will be bossing people around. I guess so, but whatever. It doesn't matter anyways. You know it's such a shame, really. 1. What is? I ask. That there won't be a happy ending to your story. He says with a smirk, and I snap. I ran at him at full speed, and before he has time to react, I tackle him to the ground. I punch him several times before he has time to slap me. We continue to fight until someone pulls me off of him. What is going on here? A powerful voice says. I look up and face my dad. He started it. Ford, would you like to explain to me what is going on? I have no idea. I was just watching the news and she attacked me. Oh, liar. You liar. I scream and start to run at him, but 2 strong arms hold me back. My mum runs into the room. What hell is going on in here? She asks. Your guess is as good as mine, Ford says. I growl at him. Ford, leave. I will deal with you later. He smirks and leaves the room. I sigh in frustration. How about we all take a seat and discuss what just happened? My mum suggests. That sounds like a fine idea, dear. Alyssa? He asks, as if to ask if I would join them. I shake my head yes, and follow them to the couches. My mum grabs the remote and turns off the TV. So, start from the begin, my mum tells me, and I do. I tell them everything. Not just why I was fighting Ford, but everything. About me and George, my brother and I, my parents or fake parents. Alyssa, it means a lot that you would tell us this, my mum begins. My mum begins, and we are glad that you accept us as your parents, my dad says. My mum smiles softly at me. I don't smile back. We would love nothing more than to have you back into our lives, my mum explains. Well, I don't know if I'm ready for all of this. It's a lot to take in, and all I want right now is to be with my mate again. I say and get up and walk to my room. 2. Later that night, there is a knock on my door and a woman comes in with a tray of food. Thank you, I say, eyeing up the food. I didn't realise how hungry I was until now. I walk over to here. The tray is on the coffee table and sit down. There is mac and cheese with a chunk of bread, some water and a brownie, which is basically my favourite meal. I dig in and scarf down all of the food at once. Wow, I really was hungry. When I am done, I decide to watch some TV, which turn out harder than I thought because everything is about me. I just shut it off. An hour later, the lady comes back and gets my tray. Is there anything else I can get you? A way out of here. I wish I could. I've been here for many years, and never once have I found a way out. You're a prisoner? No, nothing like that, but it feels like it sometimes, she says. Well, I hope you rest well, she says and leaves the room. I get up and walk into the closet. I find a shirt and put it on. I brush my teeth and then head to bed. I lay there tossing and turn, not able to sleep. I roll over and turn on the lamp. I look inside the nightstand. I find a book there. I pick it up. I read the title, Fire, Smoke, Ashes. I run my fingers over top the pages. It's worn. Looks as if someone has read it many times. I flip to the first page and start reading. 2. By the next morning, I am over halfway through the book. I didn't sleep at all last night. I stayed up and read the amazing book. I look out the window and see a bunch of wolves coming. Is it George? Did he come to save me? I get up and rush to the window. I don't see George, and I don't recognize any of the wolves. My door opens and I whip my head around. My dad stands there. What's going on? They heard that my long-lost daughter has returned, he says with a smile. I look back at the window, then at him. Well, I'm not going out there. I'm not forcing you to, he says, but they will be out there for a while. Breakfast is ready, he says and leaves, closing the door behind him. I watch the wolves out the window again. There's so many. How am I ever going to get out of here? Chapter 16. I yawn as I get ready for bed. I brush my teeth and head to bed. I pull back the covers and climb inside, something that I find myself doing a lot, often. As I drift off into dreamland, something burst through my door. I quickly turn around in bed and at the person. The bright hallway lights are blind, causing me to throw a hand up to my eyes. As my eyes adjust, I notice a man standing my doorway. Who are you? What do you want? I yell at the dark figure. Shh, Alyssa. It's me, baby, my favourite voice says. He wants closer to me, and his wonderful scent fills the room. George, I croak. I'm almost to tears. He steps closer to me, and I start to see him face. I smile and jump out of bed. I run over to him and hop into his arms. He wraps me in a tight hug. Are you really here? Yeah. Wait, don't answer that. I love you so much, I say. He chuckles. I love you too. He whispers into my hair. Someone runs into the room. I pull back and look over George's shoulder. A man stands there. Your Highness, we have to leave. Now. Okay, thanks, George says, and the man leaves the room. George looks at me. We have to leave. Okay, but before we leave, I need to tell you something. Can it wait? Babe, we have to leave now. No, it can't. He looks at me oddly. Okay, but make it quick, he says. I back away from him and look at him in the eye. George, I can't just leave. These monsters kidnapped you. Yes, but, Eno, there's no but. These monsters did a horrible thing to the princess. They aren't going to get away with it. But they are my family. They are my family, I say. George just looks at me. What? He breaths out. They are my real family. My parents. I was kidnapped when I was little by my parents that just died. They were never my real parents. That's why they didn't care about me. They kidnapped me. They aren't my family, and Nick isn't. I say and realise that everything that happened between me and Nick were a lie. We weren't siblings. You know, was it all an act? It can't be. Nick. George wraps me in a big hug again. Shh, it's okay. He says when I say, it's going to be okay. I'm here now. George, my whole life is a lie. Everything that I thought I knew was just one big lie. My parents kept everything from me. No, it's not. You are not a lie. Our life together can never compare to any other. He whispers sweetly into my ear. Are you even real? I ask. He chuckles deeply. Of course I'm real, and I'm never letting you go. You're mine forever. What the hell are you doing with my daughter? A voice threatens. I pull out of George's arms. Dad? Don't sound so surprised. I'm not just going to let him dance right in here and sweep away my daughter. He's my mate. I tell him, I don't give a sm. He is not leaving with you. Well, you don't get a say in this. I state sternly. Yes, I do. I'm your father, for God's sake. That's enough. You have no right to keep your daughter from her mate. It's against the pack law. Daisy says. She has a hand on his arm. He visually starts to calm down. Call off your pack now, George tells him. Backer! Now. Tim's eyes glaze over, his mind linking his pack. Well, Daisy claps her hands together. Now that's all over with. Would anyone care for a cup of coffee? As we all calm down and relax, all hell breaks loose. In a moment, 2 men take hold of my parents and slit their throats, both of them drowning in a pool of their own blood. A blood-curdling scream rips from my throat. I fall to my knees as tears start to cloud my vision. I don't know how long it is until I'm being pulled to my feet. Come on, we've got to go. George starts to pull me towards the door, over my dead parents. I can't just leave them. I struggle away from him. He catches me and holds me with ease. Forget about them. They never loved you, Alyssa. They don't even know you. I push away from George. How can you say that, George? I say, and wipe away the tears running down my cheeks. You're mine now, no one else's. You are mine, and only mine. Chapter 17. I shoot up in bed, breathing hard. Sticky sweat runs down my body, my hair feels like one hot blanket. I must have made a ruckus, cause the next thing I know, my dad is bursting through the door. What's wrong? My dad asks, walking over to my bed. It was a nightmare. George came, you were there, and you did. What? Did you say that I died? He asks, stepping closer. I nod my head. He sits at the end of my bed. I feel tears streaming down my face. He moves closer and wraps his arms around me. Shh, it's okay. I'm here. I don't want to leave you. Now that I actually have a family, I don't want to leave. There comes a time in everyone's life where they have to leave their loved ones. It's what's best, my dad says. I pull back. Dad, what are you talking about? I'm not going anywhere. You aren't going anywhere. Child, calm down, he says and pulls me back into a hug. I have a surprise for you. What? I ask. You go shower and change. Then I will meet you in the dining hall where your surprise is. Okay, I say. He leaves, and I do what I'm told. Once I finish my hair and head downstairs, I hear noise as I get closer. It's 2 voices. I can't tell what they are saying or who it is. I open the door and see the best surprise ever. Oh my God, I say and run into his arms. He chuckles as he wraps his arms around me. What are you doing? I look up at my brother. Your father called me. He decided that it's best for you to come home. I stare at both of them in confusion. Dad chuckles. Turns out it's harder to reach the prince than it seems. This was the next best option. I look at him in confusion. He wants me to go home. What about you guys? What about my sisters? This is my home now. I ask in confusion. Your mother and I agreed that it's best for you to return to your mate. You will always have a home here, Alyssa. But right now, your mate needs you. You have a duty as princess to fulfill. You can't very well do it here. But I just found you guys, and now I have to leave? So soon? My dad steps closer to me and takes me in his arms. I know it's hard to let go of something good. But we aren't the only ones that need you right now. It's selfish of us to keep you all to ourselves. I nod my head and wipe away a tear that was running down my cheek. I will always love you, my child. You have a very special place in my heart, he says. Nick clears his throat. I don't mean to be rude, but I would like to be on the road before dark. Dad nods his head. That's very smart. Alyssa, why don't you gather up some of your things? I do as I am told. Coo-eye. I sit on my bed and hold the book I started the night before. I didn't have many things, but I did collect a few items in the few days I've spent here. A book, some old shirts of my mother's, even a few photos. There's a knock at my door, and soon my mum pops her head in. Hey, she says. I look up at her. Hi, what's up? She runs her hands over the top of her jeans. Nick is waiting downstairs for you. He's such a nice young man. I'm glad you had him while you were away from us. I nod my head. Yeah, he's a pretty good big brother. I trail off in thought. Nick has been a really good brother to me. I'm almost done. I'll be down in a minute. She nods her head and turns to leave, but before she does, she comes back over to me. I know it's hard to leave. Goddess knows I don't want you to leave, not since I finally have you back, but it's the right thing to do. She holds up a crystal necklace. I want you to have this. Your father gave it to me the night he marked me. It's a family heirloom. His father gave it to his mother, and so on. I want you to have it, and give it to your children one day. I push it away from me, but she grabs my hands. I can't accept this. This is too much. No, I want you to have it. Something to remember us by. I know it's going to be hard, being away, but you've got duties to fill. Just remember, we are always with you. I nod my head and take the necklace, choking back any tears in my eyes. I'm going to miss you guys. I will miss you too. Good thing phones exist, she says with a laugh, and I can't help but laugh with her. Come visit us anytime. I will. She leaves as I finish packing up my things. And soon, I'm ready to go. I walk the staircase to downstairs and find them waiting by the door. I give both my parents hugs, and they kiss both of my cheeks. They wave at us from the doorway as we walk to the car. Don't forget to text me when you get home, Mum calls after me. I chuckle. So this is what parents should act like. I buckle myself in. You ready to go? Nick asks me. I tell him yes, even though I'll never be ready to leave them. Chapter 18. Hey Alyssa, wake up. We're here, a voice says. I wake up and look out the window. I see George's house. I smile at the thought of being home, but then I'm pained with thought of leaving my family. Does he know I'm coming home? I ask, looking over at my brother. He shakes his head. No. Why didn't you tell them? Because I didn't want to get his hopes up. This past week has been pure hell for him, Alyssa. I would never do that to a man that has lost his mate, he says. I look over at my brother and nod in understanding. I understand why he did it. I wouldn't want George to hurt any more than he already has. I reach for the door handle, but don't open it. What's wrong? My brother asks me. I haven't thanked you for coming to get me. It means a lot to me. After everything that has happened lately, it's reassuring to know that I'll always have someone there for me. You're my sister. Blood or not, I'll always be there for you, as you would be there for me. Now, go on. You've got one anxious mate on your hands, as do I. I chuckle. I turn back to the door and open it. It's dark outside, and the lights from George's office glow. I watch the house. My brother sees me. Go to him, he says, and that's what I do. I go to my mate. I walk into the house and almost head to our bedroom, but I know George too well. He won't sleep until I am found. I turn on my heels and quietly head to his office. I get to the door and look through the crack in the door. He sits at his desk, looking at something. It looks as if he hasn't slept in days, which I'm sure he hasn't. Sleep isn't as important to werewolves, but we still need it. We can only last a few days without sleep. I watch him silently. He just continues to go through papers. He gets a phone call. He puts it on speaker. Yes, Alpha, we have a report on your Luna. George cheers up a little. Or any news? A little. We found her scent heading this way, towards your house. He smiles. Really? Anything else? Not at the time, but we are still working on it. Okay, thank you, Hayden, he says and hangs up. He lets out a sigh. After a minute or so, he looks up. Please, moon goddess, bring her back to me, he whispers. She already has, I say, and walk into the room. His head snaps and look at me. His eyes go wide. You're here, he whisper. He breaks into a smile and wraps me in a tight hug. He breathes in my scent. You're actually here. I can't believe it. She brought you back to me, he says. I will never let that happen again. You are mine. I snuggle deeper into his chest. I love you, I whisper. I love you too, Alyssa, he says. I look up at him, in his eyes. He looks down on me. What happened to you? He asks me. I pull him over to the couch and we sit down. He pulls me into his chest. I kiss him. He kisses me back. As you know, I went into the woods to get free from my thoughts, and when I was there, I was kidnapped. He growls. Ha! I draw circles on his chest to calm him down. I continue to tell him everything, about how my parents kidnapped me, how they told me the story of their rivalry. Everything. Looking back on it all, it seems surreal. I wish they didn't have to take you away from me. These past few weeks have been horrible. I didn't know where you were. My heart broke when we could find you. My dad was a D and said that you ran away. I lost it. I couldn't control my anger anymore. George grows quiet for a while. I can tell he's fighting a hard internal battle. I pull his face towards me. George, you can tell me anything. I love you no matter what. He pauses for a few more beats. I killed him. I killed my dad. I'm a murder. Alyssa, a monster, he says. 27. We all have our own demons to face, but you're in luck. I'll be with you through it all. I love you, okay? He nods his head. I kiss his cheek. He rests his forehead against mine. I love you so much, he whispers. I turn back to George. He watches me. Babe, can we go to bed? You look exhausted. How much have you slept since I've been gone? I ask. I can't remember. I couldn't sleep without you. Okay, we are going to bed, I say, and pull him off the couch. He chuckles. We head up to our room and get ready for bed. I slip on one of his shirts as he strips down to his boxers. He gets in and I get in after him. He wraps an arms around me. We shut off the light. I'm never going to let that happen to you again. I know. But this time it was a good thing. Doesn't matter. It might have been a good thing, no, but we don't know next time, and there won't be a next time, he says. He kisses the back of my head. I sigh and start to remember the feel of his touch. I hope this isn't a dream, I whisper to myself before falling asleep. Chapter 1. I wake up before George does and decide to get ready for the day. Once I get dressed, I quietly turn on the TV. Breaking news. Queen Alyssa has returned. Late last night we got report that the Queen Luna has returned home. We go live outside the castle now. They switch screens to another reporter. They are standing outside the castle. But little do they know that we aren't inside. I kind of enjoy having this little secret. It's nice having privacy. We got report from the royal guard that the princess has returned. They didn't give much information except that she returned safely late last night with her brother. And as you all expect, the first thing she did was run into the loving arms of her mate. I'm RJ Newbor, Channel 8 News. Back to you, he says, and they switch back to the first news anchor. And we will keep you updated throughout the day, she says and goes on about the day's news. I shut off the TV, but not before flipping through the channels, all of them playing something about me. I take a deep breath and listen to deep breaths of my mate. I turn and glance at him. He looks so peaceful. I put on a pair of shoes and walk down to the kitchen. I watch halfway down the hall, then realise that I have never been out of George's room besides to go to his office. I just keep on walking, noticing stuff as I go. There are so many different spaces in this house, it's very easy to get lost. That's how I find myself in a random room. It's huge and really bright. I'm a big fan of natural light. It seems this big open room connects to a bedroom. You must be Alyssa, a voice says. I wipe around and see a woman. She looks just like George. I am. Sorry, is this your room? I got lost. She chuckles. She sounds just like George, no need to apologise. Oh, okay, I say, not know what to say next. I'm Audrey, George's mum, she says. It's an honour to meet you, I say. I hold out my hand, but she pulls me into a hug. I've been waiting for you. You have changed, George. I didn't mean to. In a good way. You changed him in a good way. Oh, thank you, I say with a sly smile. She smiles at me. A maid comes in. Eleanor, can we get some food in here? And make sure to inform my son where we are when he gets up, she says, power flooding her voice. Yes, Mama, Eleanor says, bows, and leaves the room. Please sit down, she says, and starts walking over to a table. I follow her. Tell me everything, she says, like she is my best friend. What do you mean? Tell me how you two met. Oh, George hasn't told you? I ask. She looks down and shakes her head. No. His has been distant from me. She pauses for a moment before continuing her sentence. Ever since I left. You left? Did you just come back? Her eyes glaze over for a moment before returning to mine. When I found out that I was mated to the future Alpha King, I was so excited. We were madly in love. Once we took over for his parents, he changed. He was always in his office. He never saw me anymore. Only time we did see each other was at night, when he would come to bed. Eventually, he started hitting me. One day, I got fed up and left. At the time, George was 8. It was hard to explain why I was leaving. and why I couldn't bring him with me. She is in tears in her eyes, but she quickly wipes them away. I don't know what to say. She lets out a held-in laugh. You don't have to. I just way overshared. I know what George did to his father. George is afraid of becoming him father. I don't think he could ever be his father. I agree, but George just hasn't seen it yet, she says. The food comes in, with George trailing behind. He kisses my head. Morning, love, he says. My stomach does a flop. He then sits down next to me, keeping a hand on my knee. Glad you could make it, George. Of course, mother. What were you two just talking about? He asks, looking at me. I glance at his mother. Just how we met. Best day of my life, George says, and kisses me again. I give him a light chuckle. George just smiles smugly. George turns his attention towards his mother. Mum, we need to go. We have a busy day. Okay, well, I hope to see you both later, she says as we get up. I look at her. It was a pleasure to meet you. Same to you, I say, and follow George out of his mother's room. As soon as the door closes, he presses me against the wall and kisses me hard. I missed waking up next to you. I'm sorry I got up early. You should have woke me up, he says with a slight pout. You look too cute, I say with a smile. He smirks at me. Not as cute as you, he says and kisses me again. His fingers start to slip under my shirt when someone clears their throat. I look over and see a man. He looks about my age, a little taller than me. He has glasses, a good build. A very handsome man. Eden, George says. Yes. The press is waiting, he says. Okay, we'll be right there. Okay, Alpha, he says and walks away. George looks at me. Now, where were we? We were just going to talk about this press release. We were? George questions me with a frown. Yes, we were, I say. What are we going to tell them? I don't know. I don't even want to do it. I just want to spend time with you. I smile at him. I want to also. But we have to. He grumbles. Fine, we will do it later today. Okay? Or asks, not waiting for me to answer. He kisses me hard. I giggle against his lips. But right now, to the bedroom, he says and picks me up and carries me on his shoulders. Chapter 20. My Queen. What happened to you? Someone asks, while someone else asks, did they hurt you? The questions keep coming. One. Enough. A powerful voice yells throughout the room. I snap my eyes to George as he scowls at the people. Your queen has been through a lot. Please give her respect and be kind, George says to the crowd. They all bow their head in submission. First question, I say, and they all start to raise their hands. I just randomly pick one. My queen. First off, I would like to say, I'm glad you are safe. As am I comment. He smiles. Who kidnapped you? He continues not bluntly at all. My family. My real family. I still don't understand why they kidnapped me when they could just contacted me. But it is what it is, I say. Next question, I say and scan the room. Again, I pick a hand. Yes, I ask. She smiles at me. How does it feel to have a tragic thing happen, and when you come back, you are the queen? And how do you feel about what King George did? And is there a wedding in the works? I glance at George. He has pain in his eyes. I look back at the crowd. Coming back and being thrown into this position is a big change. But I'm ready for anything. And even though it might not always be good, I will always stand by whatever George does. Because that's what mates do. They love each other no matter what. And you will have to wait and see if there's a wedding. I say and look at George. This time he has love in his eyes. I walk to him. When I reach him, he holds out his arms. I walk into them. I love you so much. George takes my hands and we leave. He pulls me into the hall and starts going somewhere. George, where are you taking me? I ask him. He turns his head with a smirk. You'll see, he says. He pulls me into a garden with beautiful flowers. I look around, trying to take in as much as possible. George stops, and I see that we're in a private section of the garden. He pulls me over to a bench. What are we doing out here? I ask, still looking around. I just wanted to talk, and I've been planning to bring you out here for a while, but that didn't happen. Oh, I say, looking down at my shoes. George wipes a tear from my cheek. Hey, don't cry. I didn't want to make you cry. I know, it's just hard. Being away from you was hard. I say, I know, and I felt the same, but now we are together again, and I'm never letting you go. He says and pulls me into him. He kisses the top of my head. I love you so much it hurts. He says, I love you even more. I whisper. I feel George move and pull something out of his pocket. I wasn't planning on giving this to you just yet, but I feel it's the right time. He says and pulls out a little box. I gasp and move back a little. I know, with everything that is going on, it would be a lot to get married. But I still want to give you this ring, to show you how much I love you and that I will always be there for you. He says and opens the box. It's a promise ring. My grandpa gave me this ring when I was 16, saying that when I find my mate, I shall love her forever. He told me that he wants you to have it. He says, looking into my eyes. I put a hand over my mouth. So, will you do the honor of wearing my ring? Or asks. I'm speechless. I just nod my head. Yes. He smiles in relief and lets out a breath. Was he nervous? He takes my left hand and slips on the ring. I smile at him. He smiles back. I love you, I say. He pulls my chin forward and kisses me. It's sweet and loving. Someone coughs and we break apart. I look over and see his mum standing there. I feel my cheeks get bright red. Hey mum, George says, wrapping an arm around me. I snuggle into the protection of his body. He chuckles. His mum smiles down on us. What are you two kids up to? He asks. Nothing much, George says. Oh, well, your grandparents want to get together for supper. You should be there. I don't know, Mum. Alyssa isn't feelin'. George, I growl. He looks at me. I look at her. We will be there, I say with a smile. She smiles back. But until then, Alyssa and I want some alone time. George says. Of course, she says and leaves. I get a call on my phone. I answer it without looking. Hello? I say. Why, Alyssa? I hear a familiar voice says. I smile. Nick, what you're up to? Oh, nothing. Just saw your press release. You handled it very well. Thanks, I say with smile. I glance at George and see his impatient eyes. I grab his hand and squeeze it. Nick, I don't mean to be pushy, but me and George have something to finish up. So, oh, I understand. I just called to invite you and George over for the weekend. That sounds great. Yeah, I'll have to check with our people, but we will try to come. Okay, well, have fun, and I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye, I say. After we hang up, I turn to George. I smile at him. So what was that about? Or asks. That was Nick. He invited us to come stay with them this weekend. Babe, remember what happened last time? And remember that I came back. I will always come back to you, George. You are my one and only. He pulls me closer and puts a kiss on my forehead. I love you too. Chapter 21. Welcome, welcome. Min, a older lady says as she opens the door. I smile at her. George has a hand on my back. We walk inside, and a maid comes to take our coats. The lady takes me by the hands and hugs me. It's so good to finally meet you. I have heard so much. George talks about you non-stop, she says. I give her a worried look. She smiles. All good things. I smile. Thanks. I wish I could say the same, but we haven't had much time together. She smiles softly. All in good time. Come this way, she says, motioning us to follow her. George comes up beside me. Sorry about that, he whispers softly. No problem at all. She's sweet. We walk into the main living room and find an older man sitting in a chair. George lets go of my hand and quickly goes to the man. I already miss the warmth of George. Grandpa, George says, and hugs the man. He laughs. George, 24 years old and still a ball of energy. Yep, that's me, Grandpa, George says with the happiest smile I have ever seen him show. George looks at me. Babe, he says with a hand out, motioning for me to come over. I walk over and take his hand. We turn to the man known as Grandpa. Grandpa Joe, this is my mate Alyssa. Ah, the famous Alyssa. Nice to meet you, he says, holding out a hand. I take it. Joe looks to George. What a fine young lady you have for a queen. George smiles down at me with joy. I can feel the pride radiating off of him. I could live with that feeling forever. It never gets old. So, how about some dinner? George's grandma asks just as George's mother, Audrey, arrives. Sounds great, Grandma. George says. Thank you for having us, Audrey says as we sit down. Of course, nothing like a good family dinner, too. Throughout the night, I got to know more about George and his family, and I'm glad they welcomed me into the family with opened arms. We stayed for a long time, so it wasn't until late that we returned back to the house. I brush out my messy hair while George is in the shower. He comes out not wearing anything. He comes over and kisses my cheek. Hey, babe, he says in a husky voice. Hey, I say softly. So, it seems my family loves you, he says with a smile. Hee. I scrunch my eyebrows. How can you talk about your family while fully naked? I say with a slight giggle. I'm a man of many talents, he says with a smirk. I finish brushing my hair and get my pajamas on. When I come back out of the closet, George is in bed, doing something on his phone. I run and jump on the bed. He chuckles deeply. I smile. I kiss him and get under the covers. What are you doing? I ask. Nothing much, just checking in with my beta. Oh, okay. I pause for a second before I sit up. George, can we talk about something? It's been on my mind for a while. I ask him. I lean back against the headboard. He puts his phone down and looks at me with concern. What is it, baby? He says. I want to go to my brother's this weekend. He lets out a sigh. I watch his chest rise and fall for a few moments. He finally speaks. I understand why. But I don't want a repeat of last time. I can't go through that worry again, baby. That won't ever happen again. I plead. After a few minutes of going back and forth, he says, I'll think about it. It just all makes me nervous. I can understand why. I don't want that situation to stop us from having a good, free life. We should be able to do whatever we want and not have to worry about what might possibly happen. He nods in agreement. Let's both sleep on it. I don't want to make any rash decisions. I agree with him and we both get under the covers after shutting off the lights. Sleep comes easy tonight. The next morning, I wake up in an empty bed. I look over and see a note from George. Sorry, I couldn't stay to see your beautiful face when you wake up. I really wanted to. I have some business to attend to. I will see you later, my love. I smile reading the note. I get out of bed and decide to take a bath. I add a bunch of bubbles and get in. But before I get in, I grab a book. I get comfortable in the bath and open my book. After 3 chapters in my book, I decide to get out and dress for the day. I watch outside as I get ready. It gets colder every day. It's going to snow soon. I decide on a sweater and some leggings. I put on some boots and head downstairs. I go to George's office and find him in a meeting with a group of men. I knock on the slightly cracked door and open it fully. Everyone's eyes are on me. Hello, I say with a shy smile. Good morning, love. This Alpha Damien and his beta, Jeff. They came here to discuss some things. Oh, nice to meet you, I say. It's my honor, the Alpha says. I've never met anyone as beautiful as the Queen herself. My cheeks grow rosy and I glance at my mate for a second before replying. Why, thank you, I say. You seem the same age as my daughter. I'm sure she would love to meet you. Yes, that sounds like fun. You should bring her with next time. I say with a smile. I shall. Well, it was nice meeting you. Same to you, they says. I say goodbye to George and then leave to go to the kitchen. When I get there, the cook is cleaning up something. Hello, I say. Good morning, my queen. What shall I make you? Nonsense. You sit, I will make you something. It's not necessary, my queen. I am your cook, not the other way around. Well, today, I am cooking for you, I reply. Well, if you insist, I do, I say, and pull out a chair for him. He sits down as I begin making breakfast for the both of us. Chapter 22. Tell me about yourself. Well, my name's Josh. I'd work here for 15 years. I have a mate and 3 kids. Really? What are their names? Jake and Brody are twins, 10, and Lucy is 8. That's awesome. I love that age, they are so fun. I suppose you are busy though? Yes, but it's worth it. I love them. I smile. I can't wait to have kids of my own. You want kids? Yes, someone has to make the air. I joke. He chuckles. How many do you want? Or asks. Not sure, but at least 3, I say. I can see a bunch of mini versions of you and the king running around. He says. Me too, I decide. Once I am down making the food, I set a plate in front of him and sit down next to him. We dig in, and after a few minutes I turn to him. So what do you think? I ask. This is amazing, he says, and puts more food in his mouth. Thank you, I say. There's a few maids that come into the room laughing. But when they see me, they stop. Sorry, Mama. Please, you don't have to stop laughing when I'm around. I want you guys to act like I'm just another person. Okay? Okay, Mama. Oh, and don't call me Mama. Just call me Alyssa. Okay, Ma, I mean Alyssa, the maids say. I smile at them. So what are your names? I ask. I'm Laurie, and this is my daughter Kayla. She says and points to the girl around my age, behind her. Nice to meet both of you, I say. I start reaching for my empty plate. Oh, let me get that, Laurie says. I hold out my hand. No need. I am capable of putting my dishes in the dishwasher. You forget that before I was the queen, I was a normal girl, I say with a smile. It takes a minute, but they smile too. I clean up my mess. Kayla, can I have your help for a minute? I ask. It can get pretty lonely here in this big house. Might as well make as many friends as I can. She shyly nods her head. I have her follow me. We go to the library. I have her sit down. So, Kayla, tell me about yourself. I'm afraid that there isn't much to tell. Well, I want to know everything. How about we start with age? Okay, I'm 17. Cool. Any boyfriends? Mates? One night stands? I say the last one with a smirk. She giggles. No, she says, and starts blushing. So, any crushes? No, not really. My family's poor. We go to work and home again. We don't have much time for socializing. Goddess. I can't remember the last time I went shopping, let alone could afford new clothes. She pauses and realizes her sudden outburst. Her cheeks grow red, and she begins to apologize. I hold out a hand to her. There's no need to apologize. What size are you? 8. Really? Me too. Listen, I have some extra clothes that I don't wear. You can browse them if you're interested. I offer to her. No, I couldn't do that. It's fine, I don't wear them. You'd actually be helping me out. No, please. I don't want them. Fine, but they are there if you need them, I tell her. Okay, she says. I won't keep you any longer. Just wanted to talk. I guess I will see you later, and we should hang out. Yeah, I would like that, she says, with a smile. She leaves the room, and I sit back down, reading my book. Cluely. Later, I walk back into my bedroom to see Laurie in my closet. Miss Laurie, may I ask why you are in my closet? Or in our personal quarters without permission? I'm sorry, I was told to pack a bag for you. What? Who told you that? I ask. She chuckles. Your mate. Oh, carry on, I guess. I'll be right back. I say and start for George's office. I get to George's office and he is doing some paperwork at his desk. Hey, I say as I come into the room. He looks up and smiles. Hey, so, why are the maids packing our stuff up? He smiles. I thought about what you said about going to your brother's house, and I think we should go. He says, and I start squealing. But we have to bring a few guards. All right, I can handle that, I say with a huge smiles. He gets up, and I jump into his arms. Thank you, thank you, thank you. He laughs. No problem. Now I have some work to finish before our trip. Yeah, okay, I'll see you later, I say. I'll just go call my brother. Okay, bye, sweetheart, he says as I leave. I walk back to my room and watch Laurie as I call my brother. Alpha Reagan, he says when he accepts my call. Nick. Oh, hey Alyssa. What's up? Nothing much, just finishing some paperwork. Nick responds. Fun. Anyway, I was calling to tell you that George and I would love to come this weekend. That's great. We were hoping to have you over again before you get too busy. Yeah, that's probably a good idea, I say with a laugh. It's still unreal that I'm the queen. I knew that you were going to do great things. Thanks, it means a lot. Yeah, that's what I'm here for. Anyway, I have to go. See you soon. Bye, I say as I hang up. At that time, Laurie comes back into the room. Miss Alyssa, what do you think about this dress for you trip? He asks. I turn and look at it. Perfect. She goes back to packing my bag in the closet. When she is done, she comes out. Is there anything else I can get you? He asks. I pause and think for a moment. I don't think so, but there is something that you could do for me. And what is that? He asks. You and Kayla can take the night off. George and I no longer need your service today. Are you sure? We could always stay. Yep, I'm sure. I say, and she smiles. Thank you. Laurie says, practically jumping, she's so excited. Yep, have a good night. Same to you, Miss Alyssa, she says as she leaves the room. I look over at the clock and see that it is only 8 p.m, but I'm so tired. I decide to just go to bed early. I have a long day tomorrow. The next morning, I get up and actually find George in the room. He's sitting by the fire, drinking coffee. I get up and wrap my arms around him from behind the chair. Hey, I say. He kisses my arm. Hey, babe. How did you sleep? Like a baby. What time did you come to bed? I think around 1, he replies. I pull back and sit in the chair across from him. Axe, baby. That's not healthy. You, out of all people, need your sleep. He grumbles. I know, I just had a lot of work to do. You don't have to do all of it. Give some to your beta. That kid gets on my nerves sometimes. And you get on mine, but I'm still here, and getting a full night's rest. I point out. He grumbles something. I just smirk. Come on, babe. We leave in a few hours to go to Nick's house. Have you even packed? I haven't had time, and the maids are busy. Okay, I will pack your bag, and you go finish your work. Okay, he says. He gets up, gives me a kiss, and heads out. I sigh. If I don't get him to relax, it's going to be a long weekend. Chapter 23. I'm so glad you made it, Serenity says as she hugs me to death. I laugh. Me too, I say, and we let go. My little munchkin runs out of the house and into my open arms. Auntie Alyssa, you are here, he says. I smile. Yep, I'm here. I'm so happy you are back. I missed you, he says. I missed you too, I say. Did you bring Uncle George too? Sure did, yeah, he says and runs to find George. I find Nick and hug him. We head inside when George comes in with a giggling boy on his shoulders. I sit and admire them. As if reading my thoughts, Serenity says, he's going to be a good father. I smile at her. Sure is. George runs off somewhere, mostly likely to play. I turn to Seren. So, what have you been up to? Nothing much. Just hanging out with the pack. You know, ever since you became queen, everyone always comes up to us and starts asking questions. Really? Yep, these people love you. They want to know every dirty secret. Oh, about my 6th toe? I ask. She starts laughing. Of course. And they want pictures. I still can't believe that in just one day, I go from being just a normal wolf to the queen. I say. You were never normal. You were born to do great things. Thanks, I say with a smile. I hug her again. The boys come back into the room. I'm glad you are here, Nick says, squeezing my shoulder. Thanks, I am too, I say. Plus, someone needed a getaway. I say, with a cough. George stops playing with my nephew. I have no idea what you are talking about, he says. I just smirk at him. Sure, I say, rolling my eyes. The rest of the night, we just relaxed, but I could tell there was something going on. I didn't know what it was. I'm so tired, I say, falling onto my bed. George chuckles. You think you're tired? I played all afternoon. Man, that kid has got some energy. He says, falling onto the bed too. Just like his dad, I say with a smile. You know, I can't wait until that is us. George whispers, resting his head on my stomach. Until what? I ask. Until we have a kid of our own. A child that looks just like us, he says with a sigh. Me too, I say. He smiles up at him. Don't get any ideas, Mr. Alpha, I say. He just smirks. I yawn. I'm tired. I think I'm going to go to bed, I say, and get up. George whines. I turn and look at him. What? I say. He just pouts. Why don't you just come shower with me? I say, and get up, heading to the bathroom. He quickly follows behind. Tap. The next morning, George and I decide to take our little munchkin out for the day and give Nick and Serenity the day off, which they seem like they needed. So, what do you want to do today, bud? I asks as we drive into town. Look, he says, and I smile at him through the mirror. All right, but we should ask Uncle George if that's okay, I say. Uncle, George, can we go to the park today? Munchkin asks my mate. George smiles at him. Sure, he says, and Munchkin starts squealing. Cluely. Later that day, when we get back into the house, Serenity seems a lot better. So, how was your day? Was he good for you too? She asks us. He was great, George says with a smile, handing over a sleeping Nick to his father. They go tuck him in as we sit down on the couch and relax. Today was fun, George says. Yeah, it was. He loves you. Good, I was worried, he says with a chuckle. I smile, and George leans in for a kiss. Seren and Nick come back into the room and sit down on the couch next to ours. So, there was a reason we invited you guys over this weekend. Serenity begins. So it wasn't just to see my beautiful face. I tease. They both smile. No, it wasn't. But it was a bonus, my brother says smoothly. I could tell when we were on the phone that something was up, but I just couldn't tell what. Well, we have some news, Serenity says. They smile at each other. We're pregnant. I jump up. Really? That's great, I say, and squeeze the life out of her. We all laugh, and George gives Nick a handshake. Congrats, man, George says. Thanks, you have no idea how this feels. It's the best thing in the world, Nick says. I hope to find out soon, George comments. Nick playfully growls. We all sit back down and talk the rest of the night until Munchkin wakes up from the nap. Serenity and I head into the kitchen and start making dinner. Her parents are coming over to join us tonight. So, how far along are you? Just a few weeks. We don't want to jerk it, but I had to tell someone, and you just seemed to be the right person. Well, I'm honored. She just smiles. We finish dinner just as her parents arrive. Kayla, always good to see you, I say as we hug. Same to you, darling. And congrats on becoming the Queen Luna. Thanks, but I'm not the one to congratulate, I say, glancing at George. He smiles at me from a distance. Harry, Kayla, I would like you to meet my mate, George, I say and wave him over. He comes up behind me and wraps his arms around me. He holds out his hand for them to shake. It's nice to meet the both of you, he says. They both look shocked. I wave a hand in front of their faces. Are you all right? I ask, and they seem to snap out of it. Yeah, just never thought I would ever meet a king before, Kayla says with a smile. Understandable. 2. Later that night, after many long discussions between Harry and George, we are done with dinner. Dad, give George a break. He is supposed to be relaxing, Serenity says. No, it's okay. I like hear from my people, George says. Harry, give Seren a pointed look. Yes, but I'm your queen and your mate. And I say you need to be done for today. Besides, we have a long day ahead of us. We should get to bed. He starts to protest, but my growl shuts him up. He stands up and says goodnight to everyone, then takes me by the hand and we head upstairs. Chapter 24. A few days later, and we have to go back. We just left like 20 minutes ago. George squeezes my hand. We'll see them soon, he says. I know. I'm going to miss them, I say and look back out the window. We are travelling along the back roads. We drive a little longer. I see something. Stop the car, I yell. George slams on the brakes. What? What is it? Go back, I say. He does what I say. We stop in front of a house for sale. That's it, I say and smile at him. Babe, where do you want this? Over there, I say, pointing to an empty spot in our new house. After we got back, I got right to work. I found the house and contacted the seller. Turns out it was another werewolf couple, and they gave us a good deal. We started packing a day after we bought it. Now a week later, we are finally moving in. After moving out stuff in, we finally sent our helpers home and settled into our new home. I'm in my bedroom, unpacking a suitcase, when George comes in. He picks me up from behind and throws me over his shoulder. "George, what are you doing?" I yell and giggle. He chuckles. He sets me down. "Can you believe we have a house of our own?" Or asks. "No, it's so surreal to me," I say, holding onto his arms, staring into his eyes. He glances at the bed. "So, we should probably put the bed to good use," he says with a smirk. "Yeah, I could use a good night's rest." I joke, and he growls. He kisses me, hard. He lays me down on the bed. We are in a heated make-out section when my phone rings. George growls and grabs it, throwing it against the wall, making it break into a million pieces. "Bilal, why did you do that?" "My phone." I yell at him and punch him. "I'll buy you a new one," he says, and continues to kiss my neck. I push him away. "And a new case? And you have a deal." "Of course," he says, and I let him continue. Time. I wake up before George does, so I decide to order breakfast since we don't have any food in our house yet. I call one of our pack members and they send someone with food just a few minutes later. "Is there anything else that I can get for you?" No. That's all. Thank you," I say, then they leave. I carry the food back into the house and set it up on a tray. I pour some orange juice and take the food upstairs. When I get up to our bedroom, George is still sleeping. I set the tray down and walk over to wake up George. "Ugh," he says as he wakes up. "Good morning." He just grumbles. He opens his eyes some more. They lock with mine. I smile. He smiles back. He looks over at the food. "What's this?" Or asks. I pull the tray over. "I got some food for us," I respond. He smiles. "Thanks, babe," he says with a kiss. He starts to eat and start cleaning up our messing room. 2. A few weeks later, I hang up the curtains that I just got today, right as George comes in. "Hey, babe." "I'm home," he yells through the house. "Hey," in the living room, I yell. A few seconds later, George appears. I get down from the chair that I was on. I walk over and kiss him. He wraps his arms around me. "How was your day?" I ask. He pulls us over to the couch. "Good, just long." I lay out on the couch with my feet on him. He grabs my foot and starts rubbing it. I moan. "That feels so good." He smiles. "How is the baby?" Or asks. "She's good," I say. "Don't you mean he?" "No, it's going to be a girl. I just know it. Want to bet?" "Yeah, I do." $20 says that I'm right, and it's a boy, he says and holds out his hand. I shake it. "Come on," I say. I smile and lean up to kiss him. He puts a hand on my stomach. "I can't wait until we have one of our own." I smile again. "Me too. You know we could always just start now, or at least start practicing," he says with a smirk. I giggle. "Keep thinking that. I have to go make supper," I say, trying to get up. "No, stay here. Let me have this moment." I relax. Okay, chapter 25. Wake up, darling. Our friends are going to be here soon. I don't want to. You have to. No, I don't, I tell him. "Yes, you do. Come on," George says, pulling me to the edge, and picks me up, carrying me to the bathroom. He sets me down on the toilet, then goes to turn on the shower. I rub my eyes as he does so. He comes back over once the water is running and starts taking off my shirt. I look up at him. How did I get so lucky? I ask him, and he smiles. I think the same thing every day. After our shower, we get dressed. George dresses faster than me and heads downstairs. I pick out a cute dress and some high heels. I put on some light makeup and head downstairs with my hair done. I head down to the main hall because I'm sure that I am late. I round the corner and see everyone already there. Of course. Everyone turns and looks at me. "Hi," I say. They all chuckle. "My queen, what a pleasure," a man says, and he leans to kiss my hand. But my hand is ripped away from his lips. I look up and see George giving him a death glare. "Don't you dare. Do it one more time and you will be gone." "Alpha, I'm sorry," Alpha Damien says to George. "Ah, Damien, nice to see you again," I say. "I remember meeting him a few weeks ago." "Yes, same to you." "There's someone I would like you to meet," he says with a smile. He holds out his hand, and a girl around my age appears. She smiles, and I smile back. I walk closer with George. She holds out a shaky hand. I look at her hand and hug her instead. She is got off guard, but hugs back, nervous. I ask, when we pull back. She shakes her head. Yes, no, need to be. But you're the queen, I have to impress you. You don't have to impress anyone. You are perfect the way you are, I say. She blushes. So, what is your name? I ask. Victoria. Victoria Jeffersons. I smile. What a beautiful name for a beautiful girl. I say, honesty. Thank you. All right, shall we let the girls chat? George asks Damien. He looks at him. Sure. George kisses me on the cheek. We'll see you later. Then walks away, Damien. When everyone leaves the room, Victoria relaxes. I don't say anything. My queen, the tea room is set up for you. One of the maids says. All right, you are dismissed. Don't you want my help? No, I'm an adult for God's sake. I can take care of myself, I say. She is about to respond, but then stops. She walks away. Once everyone is out of earshot, I turn to Victoria. Ugh, I hate that, I say, but she just smiles. We head to the tea room and sit down. So, tell me about yourself. Well, there isn't much to tell. I guess I will start with, I love to read. And I knew we were going to be best friends. Tap. We head to the dining hall for supper, talking as we go. Victoria and I talked all afternoon. George came and checked on us a couple of times. I open the door and see everyone is already there. Hello, everyone, I say. I take a seat by the head of the table, next to George. Victoria sits next to her dad and a woman. The woman smiles at me. Hi, I'm Sarah. Hello, Sarah. I'm Alyssa. Queen Alyssa, George corrects. I give him a look. He smiles. Wait, my queen. Sorry for the disrespect. Don't be sorry. It was a mistake, I tell her. She smiles. I look at George. Shall we eat? I ask. George says yes, and then says a short speech thanking everyone for being there. Then we dig in. I feel George's hand reach over and rub my thigh. I smile up at him. Did someone miss me? I ask. Of course I missed you, he says honestly. I love you. I love you too. The next day, we spent out shopping. Victoria and I find ourselves at the bookstore. A few hours later, after shopping for like half of the day, we head back to my house. So, what do you want to do tonight? I ask Victoria as we head to my room. A movie night? She suggests. Sounds perfect. We reach my room and put all of my new clothes away. George comes in as we just about finished. Hey, babe, he says and kisses me. Ugh, you two are so cute, Victoria says. George smiles. Yay! Do you have a mate, Victoria? No, not yet, she says sadly. Hey, it's okay. You will find him one day, I tell her. She smiles at the thought. Oh, babe, we are going to have a movie night tonight. Care to join? I'll just let you guys do your thing. I have Hayden coming over to discuss some things anyways. Oh, okay. I guess I will see you later, I say. We leave the room and go get something to eat. Later, we head to the movie room and start searching for a movie to watch. We settle on one of my favourites, Mockingjay Part 2. We get about halfway through the movie when George interrupts us. Hey, we say, turning down the volume. Ladies, Victoria. I wanted you to meet Hayden. Hayden, this is Victoria, George says, and they stare at each other in awe, just the way mates do. Hayden growls and quickly takes Victoria into his arms. He sticks his head in her neck. She looks at me in worry. I just smile and tell her that it's going to be all right. George and I decide to leave them alone and back to our room. I run and jump up on the bed. Ah, this is nice, I say, relaxing into the bed. George joins me. I can't believe they are mates, unhappy for Hayden. He has wanted a mate for a long time. Yeah, and they are perfect together. I tell him, remembering how they looked together for the first time. I remember when that was us. George comments, Honey, that was never us. You kidnapped me. Not my brightest moment. Now I feel like an old couple. Babe, you're going to be 18 soon. You're not old. I am. I'm 24. George says. I look up at him. Yes, but you're hot for 24. He chuckles. How about I make you feel young again, in this bed? George says with a smirk. George says with a smirk. I would love that. Chapter 26. A month later. God, women, how much stuff do you have? Hayden asks, coming back into Victoria's room. Hey, if you think this is bad, all of the stuff in my house is Alyssa's. George comments. I throw a newspaper at him. What? He says, looking at me. You know I love you, right? I don't recall. I say, taping a box. You should just be lucky that I'm moving in with you. Victoria tells Hayden. The only reason is so you can be closer to Alyssa. Hayden comments. That is one of the benefits. Victoria admits. Tuh! I giggle watching them debate. George comes over and puts one hand on my stomach. I roll my eyes. Ever since 3 weeks ago, when he told me he wants to start trying for kids, he does this every time he's near me. Before you yell at me, let me tell you why I told him no. 1. I'm not even 18 yet. I don't want to be a teen mum. I already have a whole nation to look after. 2. We aren't married yet. Not that it matters in the werewolf world, but you know. Victoria glances at us and eyes up George's hand. I roll my eyes at her. I clap my hands together. Okay, so, should we get the show on the road? I want to get back tonight. I say. We all agree and get to work. 5 hours later, we finally get the last box into the car and say goodbyes. George and I wait in the back of the car for Victoria and Hayden to get in. So, how are you? George says. I'm good. I'm excited for Victoria to be moving in, I say, while twisting my ring around my finger. For some reason, I have been doing that lately. Tell. When we finally arrive back at home, I head straight to bed. I was so tired. About a couple hours later, I hear George come. He lays down next to me, putting one hand over my stomach and pulling me close. I curl into his chest. He growls in content. Did you get everything inside? Yeah, I had some of the pack members help. Oh, I say. He holds me closer. I love you. He whispers as I fall asleep. I love you too. Tess. I feel kisses being pressed to my cheeks as I wake up. I stretch out. Hey, I say, trying to wake up. I open my eyes and roll over to look at George. He grins at me. Good morning, beautiful. Now, I'm the one grinning. There's a knock on the door and George tells them to come in. It's George family. George sits up. Guys, what are you doing here? Oh, we just wanted to talk you guys out for the day. His grandma explains. I don't think today will work, see I have to do. George begins. Oh, shut up. I've talked to some people and got everything arranged for you guys to take a few days off. George's mom says. Guys, George, listen to your mother and shut up. You guys deserve this. His grandma says. George turns to his grandpa next. How can you let this happen? Son, I learned a long time ago not to go up against your grandmother, he says. George looks back at me with a questioning look. What do you think, babe? I think we should do it. You need a break anyway. Yeah, George. You work too much. How often are you two having sex nowadays? George's grandma asks. George groans while I laugh. What? You have to pleasure your women too, so tell me, dear, how often? I don't answer, just laugh again. I kiss George on the cheek and get up. All right, guys, we're going to get ready. I say, trying to push them out. Okay, be ready in 20 minutes. That's when we head out. Later that day, why are we getting on a plane? George asks, as we get on and take our seats. I take George's hand. Have I ever told you that you worry too much? No, babe, you worry too much. I tell him with a smile. When he doesn't smile back, I kiss his cheek. Besides, we need this. He looks at me, his eyes getting softer. I know, it's just hard for me to leave my pack. Don't worry, everything will be fine. Hayden and your beta are still there, they know how things go. I know, but... No buts. Babe, enjoy this, please. For me? I ask, with puppy eyes. He nods and kisses me. Babe, we're here. I hear George say. I open my eyes, even though I wasn't sleeping. And where exactly is here? I ask. I don't know. He laughs. His family comes up and we get our bags and leave the plan. It's warm outside. Welcome to the Cayman Islands. George's mother says. We look at her. Really? I've always wanted to go here, I say, but George doesn't say anything. I hit him on the back of his head. Tregens, hey, what was that for? Asks. I just give him a look and walk away. He grumbles something but follows. We meet a car and get inside. Once inside, we ride about 15 minutes and arrive at this amazing house. Are you serious? This is amazing, I say, jumping out of the car. Someone chuckles, but I don't know who. All of a sudden, my brother comes out of the front door with his family. I squeal and run up to him. Nick, what are you doing here? They invited us, he says, looking at George's family. Nick waves to them. They wave back, all but George. What's going on with George? Asks. I don't know. He's probably on his period, I say, and look at him quickly. Then I walk around Nick and to a very pregnant Serenity. Serenity, you're huge, I say, but quickly realize what I just said. You know what I mean, I say. She just smiles. We hug. So how are you? Any babies on the way? He asks. I roll my eyes. Don't get me started on that. She gives me a look. Oh, touchy subject. Yeah, I say. My little munchkin runs out and I hold out my arms. He comes up to me, gives me a hug, then asks where George was. I roll my eyes and point to him. He smiles and runs up to George. I see how cool I am. I say to Serenity as we walk inside. She just laughs. Don't worry. One day he's going to wake up and be all about you. He does this all the time. Oh, does he? I say, and Serenity just smiles. Come on, you have to see the backyard, she says, pulling me to the back of the house. On the way, I look at all the artwork and beautiful rooms. Wow, this house is amazing, I say, but then see the backyard. Picture on top. Holy shork, that's, I have no words. I know, I was the same way. I turn to her. So how long have you guys been here? Chapter 27. I turn to her. So how long have you guys been here? We got here last night. Oh, so do you know what's going on? I ask, and she just gives me a weird look. What? Why would I possibly know what's going? She says. She so knows what's going on. Oh yeah, I know you do. Tell me. Now. She starts to back up, and I start running after her. I don't know what you're talking about, she says as we run past the rest of our group. You shouldn't be running. Nick yells after his mate. Come here. I yell after her. No. She screams, running up the stairs. I follow her into her bedroom. She gets up on the bed. Don't come up here, she says. I smile and get on the bed. Tell me what we're doing here and I won't tickle you, I say, and she doesn't say anything, just looks away. I walk towards her and start tickling her. I get her laying on the bed and we full out tickle fight. Or me. Never. After what seems like 15 minutes of a tickle fight, she says the words I want to hear. Fine, I will tell you. We're here to convince you to move forward with your relationship. I stop what I'm doing and freeze. What? I said were. I know what you said, I snap. She freezes. I look at her scared face. I'm sorry. I just don't understand. We feel that you guys should get married, or at least start trying for kids. Is that why George is pushing the kids thing now? I ask. She shrugs. I don't know. We didn't tell anyone but our family. Oh, I say. I get up. I need to go, I say, and run out of the room. She yells after me. I walk downstairs and find everyone in the living room. What's going on? I ask. Oh, nothing, dear. We're just waiting for the last of our guests to arrive. What? I ask as the doorbell rings. I walk to the door wondering who was here. I open the door to see the faces of my parents. What? What are you doing here? My mom laughs as she wraps me in a hug. We're here to spend time with you guys. I start to squeal and jump up and down. My dad laughs. How about a hug? Asks. I jump into his arms, but then I remember the real reason why they are here. I back away, and their eyes fill with concern. What's wrong, honey? My mom asks. Nothing. I just don't feel very well. Everyone is in the living room. I say point to the living room. I think I'm going to lay down. Okay, is there anything I could get you? No, I'm good, I say, slowly backing up. Well, let me know. I had many stomachaches when I was pregnant. She and my dad give her a look. I shake my head. I'm not pregnant, I say. She just smiles. I turn around and head upstairs. I find my stuff in a bedroom overlooking the ocean. I smile as I look out my window at the sunny ocean. Beautiful, I whisper. Not as beautiful as you. A husky voice says behind me. I don't even look because I know it's George. What's wrong, babe? He asks, sliding up behind me. Nothing, I say, trying to get out of his arms. But he holds me tight. Don't leave, George whispers. Yay. I feel like I'm losing you. You'll never lose me, I say back. Prove it, he whispers, against my neck. I shiver. I wrap my head around his arm and pull him towards that bathroom. I walk over to the bathtub and start filling it. I then start taking off my clothes, layer by layer. George watches me with lust in his eyes. When I'm fully naked in front of George, I stare back at him. What? Are you just going to stand there with your mouth on the ground? Or are you going to get in? I ask with a smirk. He just stares for a minute longer, watching as I slip into the warm water. Then he starts taking of this clothes and joins me in the tub. I lean back onto George as we relax in the tub. No one has come to check on us. Neither one of us has said a word. We just close our eyes and let the water calm us. I feel wet kisses being placed down my neck. I hold back the moan as I grip George's leg. He chuckles. I love you. I love you too, I say back. I feel the water start to get cold and decide to get out and put on some comfortable clothes. I stand up and wrap a towel around me. Where are you going? I'm getting cold, I say. I could warm you up, he says with a smirk. I turn to him. I'm sure you could, I say with a smirk. He blushes and gets out of the water. He lets the water drain, then follows me into our room. I head to my suitcase and start pulling out an outfit. George does the same. We pull out clothes in silence. Do you know the real reason why we're here? I ask. No, I thought my family was just giving us a trip. Nope. They brought us here trying to kickstart us into marriage. I say. I hear nothing for the next minute and slowly turn around. George is shaking, anger filled his eyes. Are you serious? He asks me. George, are you serious? I wiper and back away. George notices, and his eyes soften. Babe, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. It's okay. He walks over to me and wraps me in his arms. No, it's not. I should have never have done that. I just can't believe my family would do that. Or, I know, I'm so mad, I say, and then look up at him, but I have the perfect plan. I say and smirk. He looks down at me at first with a confused face, then smirks with me. Let's hear it. I can't believe you. How dare you call me that? I did nothing. I shout at George, making sure to be loud enough for our families to hear. Point 5. George smiles at me. Oh yeah, well it's all your fault. You are the one sneaking out every night. I'm not. You are too. We haven't had sex in months. He shouts at me. I just smile. That was a good one, I say through our link. He smiles. It's not my fault that I'm not in the mood. You are never in the mood. That's a lie. Maybe we aren't having sex. It's because you don't do as good of job. Oh, and who are you comparing me to? I don't respond. I just scream in fake frustration. I, Alyssa Reagan, reject you, George Brooke, as my mate. I scream. Hurt flashes in his eyes, but it soon goes away, and he calms down his wolf. I walk to the door, wink at George, and then walk out of the room. My family is all crowed around the door. They stumble back and look at me as I come out. What are you doing out here? I ask. They say and look around at each other. My mum turns to me. Oh, honey, it's going to be okay. Y-E-S. They fell for it. She comes towards me and wraps me in a hug as the door opens. George pokes his head out. What's going on? None of your business. I snap at him and push through everyone. Chapter 28. Honey, you can't stay in your room the whole trip. My mother says through the door. Yes, I can. She sighs in defeat and walks away. I turn back to George and walk closer to him again, a smile growing on my face. He takes the last 2 steps, need to close the distance between us. How much time do we have? About an hour, maybe 2, he says. He sunk away to see me. I smile at him. Then what do you want to do? I ask, pulling on his shirt. I have some ideas, he says and carries me away to bed. Time. After the long activities we take part in, we finally stop, even thought both of us don't want to. I haven't touched George in 3 days. That's the longest it ever been, and I hate it. I love him. I want to be with, not to mention my wolf does too. I look over at George and study his face, and he lays on his back, looking up at the ceiling. I lean over and kiss his cheek, then lay my head on his chest. I love you, I say, and his chest again. I love you too, he says quickly after. Soon after, George has to get back to his room before anyone sees his missing. When he reaches the door, I pull on his hand and he turns back to me. I kiss him again, making it harder for him to leave. I can't do this any longer, George says. I know, babe. Just one more day, and then we can go home. And get back our normal life, I say. He nods his head, and then leaves my room. I pout a little, seeing his back disappear out of my room. Just one more day. The next morning, I wake up in a bad mood again. Every morning I wake up and expect George to be there, but he's not. I sigh, once again, and get up. I take a shower. Today is our last day here. We actually get on a plane tonight. I've never been this excited for something. After my shower, I find an outfit to wear, and then put on some light makeup. I decide to come out of my bedroom for the first time in days. I open the door and take a deep breath of the fresh air. I head down to the kitchen and find everyone already there, even George. Time to put on a show. My mom looks up, and when she sees me, she's shocked. I give her a small smile. Good to see everyone's well rested, George's grandmother says. I turn to her and she smiles at me, but I notice a death glare coming from someone behind. No doubt that person is George's mum, Audrey. The mouse. She hates me, I say in the mind link. No, she doesn't, George replies. So today I thought we could go shopping and swimming and have some dinner before we leave tonight. George's grandmother says. No one responds. Sounds great, Grandma, George says. Just hearing his voice makes my wolf happy. I glance at him, but don't let my eyes linger too long. I get some fruit and go sit at the table outside, by myself. I sit out at the table, watching the waves roll by after eating my fruit. I feel bad about what I'm doing to my family, especially to George. He doesn't deserve this. I have to think of some way to make it up to him. I think of an idea, but am I ready for that? I love George. We're mates. I want to spend my life with him, but he's ready for the next step in our lives and I don't think I am. I know he's trying his best to be nice, but one day that's going to run out. I want kids, and as I grow more attached to George, I want them even more. Maybe it's time I rethink the whole kids thing, In, he says. I open the door and see my amazing mate. Things have been amazing since we got back from the Cayman Islands. When we got back, we explained everything to our families. They were mad at first, but they got the point to stay out of our personal lives. George and I being apart just made us closer. We understood each other better. When George was away from me, he realised what it's like for me every day. I was always stuck alone at the house and wait for him to come home and not spend time with me. He told me he was sorry for the way he was acting and that he wanted to try to be better. And he is better. Every morning before he leaves for work, he comes and kisses me goodbye. Then he goes off to work. I usually finish doing stuff around the house. Sometimes I go out with friends, but every night he comes home early and goes to his office until supper is done, and then he has to spend the rest of the time with me. It's nice to have my mate back. I like it. I knew it wasn't going to be easy being mated to the Alpha King, but it turned out all right so far. George looks up as I come in. Hey babe, supper ready? Or asks. Yep, I say and nod my head. He gets up and gives me a kiss before following me to the dining room. Tonight, I made homemade mac and cheese with garlic bread on the side. Looks good, he says and gives me a kiss on the cheek. Thanks. We sit down and eat our dinner. About halfway through I finally get up the nerve to tell him. I'm sure you have figured out by now that there's something going on with me, I say, and he nods. I have something to tell you. He looks at me, waiting. I understand that you want kids, and I'm so very grateful that you're willing to wait for me. I say and smile at him. I reach over and take his hand. I love you, George, and I've been thinking about this for a long time. I think I'm ready to have kids, I say, and his face lights up. He's about to say something, but I stop him. He looks confused, but I want to start slow. I don't know, maybe get a dog or something? I've always wanted a dog, I say. He looks as if he's deep in thought. As time goes on, I grow nervous. What it comes down to is that I love you and I would do anything for you. I'm glad that you're ready to have kids, and we can start small. We don't have to make life-changing decisions right now, George says, and I smile big. I hug him. Thank you for understanding. I love you so much, I say, and he just chuckles and kisses my ear. Chapter 29. Oh, I love this one, I say, snuggling into George. We've been laying in bed for the last half hour looking at dogs up for adoption in the area. You said that about the last 5, George points out. And your point is? I say. George just chuckles. We can't get all of those puppies. We can only get one, he says. That sucks, I say with a pout. George just leans down and kisses me, until I smile against his lips. I love you, he whisper. I love you too. He reaches over and closes my laptop. I just look at him with curiousness in my eyes. He takes it and puts it somewhere safe. That's enough of that for tonight. Let's just go to bed. We can look again tomorrow. Okay, I say and slip under the covers some more. I feel the sparks run across my arm as my mate wraps his arms around me. I push myself back into him, trying to get as close as possible. George purrs. I try my hardest to hold back my laugh, but it doesn't work. What? He asks. You purred? I say through my laughs. He slaps his hand over his eyes. I don't think I can sleep after this, I say, and he sighs frustratingly. I shut my mouth. I'm sorry, babe. Let's go to sleep, I say. And that's what we do. I wake up the next morning, all full of warmth. I stretch out, hitting George's face as I do. I chuckle as I look up and see that he doesn't move. I remove his arm from my waist and head downstairs, but not before I grab my computer. I head downstairs and have some coffee. I sit down at the table and open my computer, look at the cute puppies once again. George's POV. I wake up cold. I open my eyes expecting my mate to be laying there, but she's not. I hear my wolf whine. I tell him to shut up because he's annoying. I get up and stretch, my morning wood pushing against my boxers. If only I had my mate. I guess I'll have to settle with a cold shower this morning. After my very long shower, I get out and get dressed and head downstairs. I smell my mate a mile away. I walk in the kitchen, seeing her there at the table. She looks up with a smile. Hey babe, I say and give her a kiss on the cheek. I walk to the fridge and take a few things and start cooking. After a few minutes, I look up at my mate. What are you looking at, my little Rose? She looks up with weird face. Little Rose? You haven't called me that since our first weekend together. I smile. I know. I'm thinking of bringing it back. What do you think of that? I love it, she says and gets up. She puts her dishes in the sink and then wraps her arms around me. I growl in pleasure. She leans against my back. What's your plans for today? She asks me. Well, I don't really have any. My beta is taking care of something so I don't have to. So you have me all day. Oh, great, she says in an annoyed tone. Nah, I chuckle. The doorbell rings and Alyssa goes to get it. A few minutes later, my mum and Kater come back into the kitchen. What are you doing here? I ask, confusion in my voice. I just want to tell you guys something, she says. Okay, what is it? I think we should sit down. I give her a weird look, but follow her directions. My food is done anyway. Once we all sit down, I take Kater's hands and she squeezes it to comfort me. I smile at her gratefully. So a few months ago, I met a guy, my mum says. My mum says, I already don't like this. But Alyssa squeals, and at first it was nothing serious. He lost his mate a few years ago. We bonded over our life stories, and soon we realised that we loved each other and didn't want to spend another day apart. So we decided to get married, and we would love for you guys to be there. My mum finishes. I don't say a word. That's great, Audrey. I'm so happy for you, Alyssa says. They look to me. I don't show any emotion. George, Alyssa asks. I will have to meet him. I say. Of course. Fine. I say, and go to my office. Alyssa's POV. I'm sorry about that. I tell Audrey. It's okay. He'll come around sometime. I smile at her. Unhappy for you. Thank you. I'm truly happy. She says and smiles. Enough about me. How are you and George? We're good. Really good, actually. We talked about kids last night. Aw, that's awesome. I'm so happy. I'm going to have grandpups soon. I don't know about that. I just told him that I'm ready to take the next step in our relationship, but I want to take it slow. Oh, okay. I suppose that I can wait a little longer. Oh, she says, looking at the time. I better go. I'll see you later, she says, and kisses my head. Bye, I say, and walk her out. I wave at her as she pulls out of the driveway. I close the door and head to George's office, assuming that's where he is. I open the door and see him sitting at his desk. He is doing some paperwork. I walk over to him and rub his shoulders. Baby, what's wrong? I ask. Nothing. George, don't lie to me. I'm fine, he says. I sigh and let go of him. I walk around his desk and sit at a chair in front of his desk. Is this about your mum? I ask. He slams his fist on his desk. This isn't about that, bitch. He screams at me. I whimper. He realizes what he did and calms down. Mab. He begins, but I don't hear the rest. I run out of the room and out the house. I take off my clothes and shift. Alyssa! I hear his yell from the front door. I just ignore him and keep running. Later that night, when I return, the only lights on in the house are the one in my bedroom that you share with George. I'm mad that I ran away, but we both needed some space. It was good for us. I walk into the house, being as quiet as can be. I go upstairs and to our bedroom. I turn around after closing the door and see George sitting in the edge of the bed. He looks as if he has been crying. I walk over to the dresser. I get my clothes put, but as I close it, I feel a breeze behind me. George touches my back. Alyssa, he says. What? I say sharply. I feel his head lean against my back. I sigh. Baby, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I know. It's not your fault. I wish you'd tell me what you think about your mother. I don't know what I think, he says angrily, walking away from me. I turn around and watching him, listening to him. Once finishing getting ready for bed, I walk over to George. Come on, babe. It's late. You've been thought a lot today. Okay, he says, and I grab his hand, walking to bed. Chapter 30. A week later, I'm in the library reading when George comes striding in. I glance up from the book I'm reading. George is standing over top of me. May I help you? I ask, looking up at him. Yes, you can help me out, he says, sitting down in the chair next to him. My eyes follow. With what? You see, the werewolf world hasn't seen you for a little while, and they're getting concerned. Okay, what should we do? Go out in public for a little while. It doesn't have to be long, just long enough for them to know you're still alive and well. Okay, when? Soon. Okay, just let me know. I will, sweetheart, he says. He gets up and kisses my head, and then walks out of the library, leaving me alone. I sigh, and go back to my book. A few days later, come on, we're going to be late. George yells from downstairs. I'm coming. Today we're going outside the walls of my house and to the public. We invited George's mother and her boyfriend out for lunch. But before we do that, we decided to meet at the Audrey's house so that we can all get the awkwardness over. I walk down the stairs and over to my mate who is waiting over by the door. Since when did you get so excited to do this? I ask, straightening his tie. He growls at me. I didn't. I just want to get this over with, he says. He opens the door for me. Promise me you'll be fair, I say to him. He nods his head and I walk outside to the car. We get in and drive to Audrey's house. There's 2 cars parked outside. I unbuckle and look over to him. He does the same, but looking back at me. Are you ready? I ask, and he nods his head again. I get out and wait for him on his side of the car. He gets out and takes my hand, that I'm holding out to him. We walk to the front door and we don't even knock, just open it. We hear talking coming from the porch out back. We head back there and see Audrey sitting, giggling with a man. Hey, I say as we come into the room. Audrey smiles when she sees us. "Hello, darlings," she says and gets up. She hugs us both and then motions over to the man. "This is Edwin. Edwin is my son George and his beautiful mate, Alyssa." The man turns around and I get the shock of my life. "Uncle Edwin? Alyssa?" He asks. He gets up and wraps me in a huge hug. "I thought you were dead," I say into our hug. We pull apart and look at each other. "Of course not. I wouldn't go out that easily," he jokes. I laugh. George growls from behind me. I turn and look up at him. I smile at him. "Uncle Edwin, this is my mate George. George, this is Uncle Edwin." Edwin holds out his hand. "It's a pleasure to meet you." George hesitantly takes his hand and shakes it. I sit down on the couch and George quickly follows. After a minute of awkward silence, Uncle Edwin breaks it. "So what have you been up to the last 8 years?" "Nothing really. Nick has a mate, he's the alpha now. He has a son that looks just like him and a baby on the way." "That's great." "Yeah, I'm happy for him." "And me? I have this wonderful guy." I say and stare lovingly at George. He smiles at him and gives me a quick kiss. "How's your parents?" asks. "You don't know?" I ask. He shakes his head, worry filling his eyes. "They're dead. They died about a month ago." "That's horrible. I had no idea. How are you coping?" Asks. "I'm fine. Listen, but since you never were told, or I don't think you were, I have something I should tell you." "Okay. What is it? Can we do it in private?" "Yeah, of course," I say, and George growls. I turn to him. "It'll only take a minute." "Fine," he grumbles and leaves the room with Audrey. I turn back to my uncle. "What is it?" He opens his mouth to reply. "Your parents aren't your real parents," my uncle says. I sigh. I relief that it's something I don't know. "I know." He looks up at me, shocked. "What?" "Yeah, I found out a few months ago when they died. I've reconnected with my real parents." "That's great." "Yeah, I'm a lot happier now." "As are you," I point out. He starts to blush. "It was love at first sight," is all he comments. "When's the wedding?" I ask. He just laughs. "Should we get the other two out here?" "Sure." They come out and George immediately comes over to me, check me over, making sure I'm all right. I laugh. "I'm fine, George." His eyes meet mine, silently asking one more time. I just smile. He sits down next to me. "I've heard a lot about you, George," Edwin says. I wish I could say the same. We all laugh, except George. I grab his hand and start rubbing over his knuckles with my finger. It seems to relax him. "I know how tough this must be for you due to the sudden death of your father a few months ago." "Of course not. My parents were done a long time ago." Edwin begins to talk again, but George cuts him off. "I've come to the conclusion that if my mum has to sit and watch me fall in love, it's only fair for me to do the same." I'm shocked by the sudden change of heart. Audrey gets up with tears in her eyes and hugs her son, and I'm soon to follow. "Thank you," I whisper in his ear. All he does is nod his head. "Well, so we head to dinner." "Sure." We head to the restaurant, and after about a half over, there was a crowd of people outside taking photos. We enjoy our time as we eat, but as we leave, the reporters start asking me about personal things. "Are you pregnant? Have you mated? Are you in heat?" I feel George getting more angry by the minute. I just squeeze his hand. "King George, do you and your mate plan on having kids soon?" George snaps. He turns around angrily. "What me and my mate do in our bedroom is our business, not yours," he says and spurs me in the car then, starts it and drives away. Chapter 31. I get up in the morning and take a shower. George isn't there. He had a meeting he had to get to at the palace. I was a little worried. These past few days, George has been fuming. Ever since the reporter said something about us. I don't blame him. Those reporters should have never said that, but that's their job. After my shower, I get ready and head out. Audrey and I are going out today to dress shop for her wedding. An hour after breakfast, she comes to pick me up. "Hello, darling. How are you?" he asks. "I'm good. How about you?" "Well," she says with a smile on her face. I can tell she's happy. "I hope you don't mind, I brought a friend along." She's your age, you're going to love her. I don't mind. Good, we better get going. Okay, I say, and we go to the car. We arrive at the dress shop and start looking around. Audrey doesn't want a white dress, since this is her second wedding. She wore white for her first, and it didn't end very well. I'm look through a rack of dress. When the doorbell rings, I look up and see Victoria. I gasp. Oh my God, what are you doing here? I haven't seen you in forever. She laughs. Audrey invited me. Grr. I hug her. I missed you so much. I'm sorry I haven't been around. It's all right. You had things to deal with. We walk over to some chairs. So how have you been? Good. How's Hayden? He sighs. He's good, I guess. I grab her hands. Tell me everything. It's just that things are different from when we were newly mated. He's stressed out. He never comes home. I don't know what to do anymore. Have you guys mated? Yes, and it was amazing, but then he got distant. I totally understand. The same thing happened to George and I. He was always coming home late. He barely even looked at me. You guys seem pretty happy. How did you fix it? I know this might be hard for you, but it worked for me and George, I say. She nods her head in understanding. Tell me. George and I spent a week apart and acted as we weren't mated. It was actually to get outer parents off our backs. But during that week, we started sneaking around and wanting to be together. After that, we talked it all out and made promises to each other. Now George comes home on time every night. We have dinner and do something together without the distractions of his work. She's quiet for a little bit, but then says, "You guys were brave." I think I might just try that. Okay, let me know. I say just as Audrey comes out of the dressing room, wear the most beautiful dress ever. I think this is the one, she says. And we all agree. She squeals and goes back into the changing room. After she takes it off, we wait while they pack it up. Audrey and I wait while Victoria goes to the bathroom. Alyssa. I would like to ask you something, Audrey says. Yeah, what is it? Edwin and I would like to ask George and you two be our best man and our maid of honor. I gasp. Of course. I would love to. You'll have to ask George, but yeah, I would love to. Victoria comes back when the dress arrives. Tap. The priest, aka Nick, says. I smile at him. Then I turn and look over at George. Our eyes locking. I watch him as he mouths, "I love you," at me. I start blushing and mouth the same words back. And now, the rings. Audrey turns around and holds out her hand for the ring. I hand it to her. She smiles. She turns back to my Uncle Edwin and makes him her husband. 2. I stand off to the side and watch everyone party the night away. Have you ever had sex at a wedding? I hear someone whisper in my ear. I shiver as he runs his hand up and down my arm. No, but I'm willing to fix that, I say in a low, sexy voice. George growls. I chuckle. I turn around and wrap my arms around his neck. How is my alpha? Alyssa. Don't call me that. You're my mate. You don't ever call me that. He looks into my eyes. Understood? I shake my head yes. I love you. I love you too. We hear cheering and we look over. Edwin and Audrey seem to be getting ready to leave. Oh, they're cute together. Not as cute as us. George whispers in my ear. I chuckle. What do you say? How about we go home and make some kids that look exactly like you? I smile and kiss him. Of course. I feel something being pressed against my lips. I soon realizes that George is kissing me. I kiss back. What? I ask. Once his lips disappear, I open my eyes and see him smile down on me. I love you. I smile. I love you too, but why did you wake me up? I joke, he growls, but then chuckles. I'll be right back, George says, and leaves. I lay down and sigh. George comes back into the room with breakfast. Oh, what's this for? I ask as he sets the tray down on the bed. Me, he jokes. I playfully punch him. He holds up a strawberry to my mouth and I take a bite. Yum, that's good. He smiles at me. What? I ask, looking at him. Nothing, you were just cute. Oh, I say with a chuckle. We continue to eat, feeding each other every once in a while. Once we're almost done, I look up at George. So what's this all about? I ask. George just blushes. Can't I do something for my mate? Of course, I say, still looking at him. Okay, you caught me, he says, and then he turns towards the door and whistles. I look at him in confusion. I hear a sound coming closer to us, but it sounds like steps. I realize it's paws. The next thing I know, a little puppy comes running into our bedroom. My hands fly up to my mouth. Go, AMG, it's so cute, I say. I jump up from bed and run over it. The puppy rolls over to lay on its back. I rub its stomach when I notice something on its collar. I reach over and take it between my hands. It's a ring, an engagement ring. I stare at it in confusion. I stand up and turn around, only to find George down on one knee. My hands cover my mouth again. He grabs my hand. Alyssa, my little rose. Why? Ever since I met you, you have turned my world upside down. But I love it like that. You are perfect in every way. I have no idea where I would be without you. So, will you do me the honor of becoming my wife? He looks into my eyes, waiting for my answer. Chapter 32. Will you do me the honor of becoming my wife? I would love to. I scream, and George chuckles. I jump into his arms. I smash my lips on his and let me say, it was amazing. George sets me down and calls the puppy over. What are we going to call him? George asks, handing me the puppy. 5 miles. Bye. So I can say I walk 5 miles every day. George chuckles, kissing my head. George unties the ring from the puppy's neck. He looks in my eyes. May I? I nod my head and hold out my hand. He slips on the ring. I admire it. It's amazing. I love it. Good, I was nervous. He didn't have to be. I love it. I say and kiss him, then kissing the top of my puppy's head, too. So, when should we tell our parents? I ask. We are currently cuddled up by the fire. Doesn't matter, up to you. Well, I think we should call my parents and tell them. And we can wait until your parents get back from their honeymoon. Sounds great. George says. We're silent for a few minutes until his breaks it. I'm so glad you said yes. I chuckle. Why wouldn't I? I'm you, mate, after all. I know, I just got nervous. He says with a blush. You're cute when you blush, I say with a chuckle. George just rolls his eyes. I lean my head on George and stare up at him. Tell me what you're thinking. He gives me a confused look, but then answers me. I'm thinking I'm the happiest man alive. I hear my wolf sigh in content. I hear my phone ring, and I reach over to get it. Hello, I say without bothering looking at the caller ID. Alyssa. Nick, what's up? Serenity went into labor. Can you come? Or meh? We'll leave right away. What about Nick Jr.? He's staying with a pack member. Serenity's parents are out of town. Can you come get him and bring him back to my house? I'll call you later with more details. Yeah, of course. I love you, Nick. I love you too, he says, and we hang up. George looks over at him. What's going on? Serenity is having her baby. We have to go get Nick Jr. George just nods and gets up. He runs upstairs and starts throwing some stuff into a bag. I pace around downstairs, waiting for him to come back down. I get on my shoes and my jacket. George comes down, holding 2 bags. He grabs my hand and leads me outside. As we walk to the car, I ask him if he can just leave the pack. The pack can run itself for a few days, is all he says, before shutting my door and getting in the other side. As we drive to my brother's house, I watch George. He's focused on the road. Thank you for doing this, I say, and he smiles at me. Of course, they're my family now too. I just smile and take his hand. I'm glad George is in my life. He's perfect and I love him. The end.